All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Community Education Council's District 28's monthly calendar and business meeting. This is our June 2024 calendar meeting. This is the calendar part. Directly after this, we'll have our business meeting. And I'm happy to announce, yes, we made it through this 1 year, half the year for council members that was recently elected. And for those who are reserving, we're on this journey, we keep going. So June is our official last meeting of the calendar year for CECs, and then July we'll start our new cycle. So I want to congratulate firstly all the council members who have made it this far, who have continued to serve selflessly across the district, doing great things. And here we are here today. So before we get any further, I want to ask our recording secretary, Ms. Latifa Lewis, to please do a roll call. Latifa?
Hey, good evening, everyone. President Vijay Ramjatan.
I am here.
First Vice President Blue Zhao.
Here.
Second Vice President Narun Swapna. I'm here. Treasurer Yutao Chang.
Here.
Recording Secretary Latifa Lewis. I'm here. Member Julissa is excused. Member Quentin Messedin.
Here.
Member Simone Dornbach.
Yeah.
Member Adriana Alicia. Member GK Kalyanaram is excused.
He is excused, but he'll be joining momentarily.
Right. And I do believe I saw Julie on.
Julie's
Julie, are
on.
you able to? Okay, she did. Okay. And member Tanya went.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Recording Secretary Latifa Lewis. Thank you all. I want to make sure I mention this and, elevate and uplift our members. Miss Latifa Lewis was on Broadway for the past 3 weeks. Those of you who know, who don't know, she was on Broadway singing a full production, you all know she's a cappella driven and she's amazing what she does, but she has been doing, yes, a wonderful job. And if you find a reaction button on your screen, you can put a heart or you can put an applause. We want to celebrate Latifa doing great things. Next year, you might see her in the color purple. Featured doing the main act. She's doing great things. Latifa, great job. We endorse you. Free tickets, please. So, my dear friends, once again, we, like I always say to you, CEC28 is
Grab somebody's. We apologize. BJ had a slight technology. Yeah. There he is. He's coming into it's Simone's. All right.
I'm speaking from Simone Dornbach's screen, pardon me, but the computer decides to update all of a sudden on its own. But we are here. So, okay. Simone, you can join me close by if you want to. Come on the screen. Let's do this. Old school. We're sharing one computer now. Here we, I tell you, man. By Mr. Portugal Burns, that's how it goes, right? Yeah, this is our last meeting for the year, and we are excited to be here to really be in community with you, to all of our stakeholders, all of our principals, all of our elected officials. We are in this together, but also too, we have a lot of Spanish-speaking individuals in our meeting. At this point in time, I'll ask our Spanish interpreter to please make an announcement in Spanish. Go for it.
Miren, the following message will be in Spanish. Buenas tardes. Nuevamente, si desea acceder a la línea en español o ingresar, por favor, a la línea en español para escuchar la reunión en español, puede ustedes marcar el número de teléfono siguiente. Es el número 347-966-4114. El código de la conferencia que tiene que ingresar es el número 818-395-046, seguido de la tecla numeral. Por favor, mantengan los micrófonos de sus dispositivos, tanto celulares como computadores apagados, para evitar la interferencia de sonido. Repito la información. El número a marcar está también en el chat, lo vuelvo a colocar para su información. Es el número 347-966-4114, seguido del código de conferencia siguiente. 818-395-046, tecla numeral. Muchas gracias.
So much, and we want to encourage our constituents that if you do have a language requirement, please let us know. But in the chat here, the principal, if there's a community in your school who needs language, we can definitely try to get various language translators on board. What's important is that we have usage of that, right? So what has happened in the past, we've had many different translators come on board and no one joins the room. So then, we can't justify requesting it. So please let everyone know going forward, every meeting will have a Spanish interpreter, Dorinda. Going forward, every meeting will have a Spanish interpreter. And if there's any additional languages that we need, please let us know that we can make sure we have access for our families and they know they will be listened to. All of our principals who are here, thank you for showing up. We appreciate you being here. This is part of my report in the beginning here. I want to thank all those who participated since our last meeting at our breakfast, right? That was our last time we saw each other. We had a successful, an extremely successful principal legislative breakfast at York College. We had over 250 attendees at that breakfast, with over 10 elected officials joining us at that breakfast. And it was an extremely inviting and I would say community building event where the CEC held its third breakfast, and it was amazing to see the entire community having a light moment, but talking about heavy stuff, right? It was a light moment that we can just be ourselves, but we were talking about important stuff, but in a way that we can move together and build together. I want to thank Dr. Blake and his entire team at the district office for being so supportive and being, the backbone of this district to really put forward the concerns, the needs, but most importantly, our strengths. I feel oftentimes we focus so much on what we are not doing well, but we neglect to say what we have been doing great. To Principal Petrello and the other two principals who were there. Principal Petrello, can you please unmute and just remind us of who the other two principals were who spoke? Principal Branker and yourself?
It was myself, Principal Branker, and Principal Tushman.
Volume. Principal Petrello?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
It was myself, Principal Branker, and Principal Tushman.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. All these three principals was there to speak about the district goals and needs, but also to the successes that they have done and worked around for many years, and doing the work that makes our district so great, the Great 28. I want to thank all of you. I want to thank Bruce Zyha from UFC for being there, to be always being supportive and being so an instrument of hope and courage in our district. Bruce, thank you so much for also being there. And to all of you other personnel who came to the meeting, all the community board members, it was a really huge success, and we are grateful. Thank you so much. So without further ado, I'm going to pass over the microphone to our wonderful, amazing superintendent. I always love the opportunity to speak about him and to highlight his work. Someone who came into our district and hit the ground running. Someone who came into our district and made sure that he did not lead from the top down, but from the bottom up, meaning that he hit the ground running, going to each and every school. And I have seen him interact with his team in our district here, and really keeping them accountable to say, we need to meet the people, the community where they are. And we are lucky to have you, Dr. Blake, as part of our team here. And you're more than a superintendent in our district here, and we are grateful. So over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, BJ, for those kind words, and thanks to everyone. Just want to say welcome to this, our annual community engagement for the Contract for Excellence funding. My presentation will be focused around the C4E, which is called the Contract for Excellence Community Engagement. So officially, good evening. I am Superintendent Dr. Eric L. Blake, and I want to thank you for allowing me this time to engage in this very important process. This evening, I'm joined by our budget matter expert, Ms. Dragomiro, that we met before. She's a budget director and senior grants officer who supports our schools with budget and grant-related matters. I'm also joined by many members of my district team, or too numerous to mention my name, but they're all welcome. So today we'll share a plan for state contracts for excellence funding, also known as C4E. And also we'll be talking about our proposed class size reduction plan, which is a new part of this process. I will also review each topic and then provide the process for public comment or public engagement. Again, thank you for allowing us to really engage with you this afternoon. Today, as I said, we'll discuss two topics, right, for the upcoming 2024-2025 school year. I'll also provide an overview of the funding, share dollar amounts allocated to the DOE, and how the funding will be allocated to schools, especially in our district. And then we'll be also looking at some of the imposed restrictions of how some funds are spent. At the end of each topic, however, I will share how you, the public, can provide comments and what would have been presented tonight. So the two topics we will discuss are state funding for contract for excellence and class size. So I'm going to ask Vic to start to share the PowerPoint for me. Please, the PowerPoint. So I'll go through the presentation. I'm not seeing it just yet, so. Go back from the beginning. All right, thanks. So we could go now. The state, so thank you very much, Vic. So the state C4E portion of the presentation is being recorded, and any feedback, public comments related to this presentation will be submitted on your behalf. You may also share feedback or public comments on information shared in this presentation by using the designated email that will come at the very end of the presentation. All right, the first topic being presented is our contracts for excellence. You could move to the next slide, for me, please. Also commonly referred to as the C4E. So first, let me provide some background on contracts for excellence. The C4E legislation was established as part of the 2007-2008 school year, which enacted state budget under foundation aid that requires that a portion of foundation aid be used for specific restricted purposes. The C4E, which is Contract for Excellence, requires that funding be allocated towards specific programs and raise the achievement of students with the greatest educational needs. And we know those students included those, but they're not limited to those who are limited English proficiency and students in poverty and students with IEPs or disabilities. We are required by state law to annually develop through a public process a citywide contract for excellence and community school district contract for excellence, right? So the public process is our parents, teachers, and other community members and interested parties provide input about the citywide and community school district C4Es or contract for excellence and about the allocation of the C4E funding in their schools. Our public process includes this meeting, as well as there'll be other meetings that superintendents will be conducting across the city with their respective CECs, just as much as we're doing right now. And we'll be also having the 5 borough hearings that will also be happening throughout this period. So although the C4E process is not new, we have submitted a C4E plan since, we said, 2007, 2008. However, on the recent changes to state law, the timeline for the public process, including the district presentations, has changed. So we are now required to start the process no later than 30 days after the enactment of a state budget. And we also are required to provide notice of the public process 15 days prior to the public hearing. So the state law requires that community school district contracts for excellence be presented by superintendents at the CEC meetings to enable public comment on those plans. To that end, we will be recording all the comments made at this meeting. This important process allows families and community members an opportunity to provide input about how their schools are funded. So it is an essential element in that the C4U plans that the New York City Public Schools submits to the state, which the state must approve in order for the public schools to receive these contract for excellence funding. All right, so funding must be spent only within the following initiatives. For illustration examples of programs by initiatives such as subject to SED, State Education Department approval, are included below. Additional instructional time, for example, time and task, example, extended school day or school year initiatives, model programs for multilingual learners, Example, expansion of bilingual resources, resource materials in libraries, full day pre-K kindergarten, pre-kindergarten and kindergarten. For example, adding classes, additional staff, or costs related to implementing full day pre-kindergarten 4K. Then also the class size reduction. Example, hiring and placing additional teachers in a classroom to reduce the student-teacher ratio. Teacher and principal quality initiatives. Example, the creation of non-cash incentives program to encourage high-quality teachers to teach in high-needs areas. Like middle school, high school restructuring. For example, expanding the participation in advanced placement programs. And all of these can be found in the presentation as I go through the presentation. So these are some of the CEC legislation was established, as I said before. This is a summary of what I've just spoken about. And that in 2022, Contract for Excellence legislation was updated to include what we're talking about tonight, class size limits. Next slide, please. All right, so now for the breakdown of the C4E funding, we categorize 4 CE allocations as discretionary and targeted. Discretionary means that schools may use 4 CE funding in any eligible way that best meets the needs of their students. Targeted means that C4E is being used to support a specific program. The schools must use C4E funding in support of that program. For example, of the $803 million, $487 million of it will be allocated as discretionary contract for excellence, and $316 million will be allocated as targeted. So the $316 million of targeted programs now include, very important to note, now include $183 million of fair student funding SFS to be used toward teacher salaries, and $87 million of those must be used towards integrated co-teaching classrooms. Those are students with the greatest needs. And $30 million for academic summer programming, $9 million for full day pre-K, and $7 million for autism spectrum disorder classrooms. So let's take a closer look at the citywide proposed allocations. Combined discretionary funding, which is 55.07%, and new 5.61% makes up 60.68% of the proposed allocation. So targeted allocations make up 39.32%, with the greatest share of that being attributable to fair student funding, which is at 22.78%. And then integrated co-teaching classrooms for students with special needs, and for summer programming, fully funded pre-K and autism spectrum disorder classrooms make up 16.55%. So that's generally for the citywide allocation of the funding. Let us now look at what matters to us most, our District 28 allocation. So let's move to the next slide and we'll take a look at our district allocation. Vic, could you move to the next slide? Right, so this is the allocation for our specific district, right? So as you can see, discretionary existing schools decide on use within an allowable program. So this is the amount placed there, 16 million, 145,408. Fair student funding makes up another good chunk, over $7 million for District 28. Integrated co-teaching, this is targeted. Schools must spend for this purpose. When these funds are allocated for students with the greatest needs, these funds must be spent in that way, which is over $2 million, 10.04. And we see the discretionary funding allocation is there, 519,000, which is 1.79%. And for summer programming, which is very important, for some maintenance of effort, over $1 million, 359,000 for the summer programming. And for full day pre-kindergarten, targeted schools must spend that allocation. So in a total of over $29 million being set aside for our school, District 28 schools. All right, so next slide, please. So the public comment for contracts for excellence, you could notice the email at the bottom of this slide, very important. We will take public feedback into account in the coming weeks as we continue to work towards compliance with this mandate, state mandate. The deadline for submitting those public comments will be June 24th. Please note the date, June 24th, 2024. And educators, parents on this call or otherwise, and caregivers and all other members of the New York City community, you may submit your public comments by email to the email address given there, contractsforexcellence@schools.nyc.gov. So that is the piece for the first aspect of the presentation about contracts for excellence funding. And as you could see that our district is well represented. Let's now go over to the next part. The second topic of our presentation is about class size reduction plan. This has been in the news all over, so let us take a look on this. So there's a draft plan has been posted as part of the Contracts for Excellence public process. Members of the public are able to give feedback to this process as well. So following the public feedback, New York City Public Schools will work with teachers and principals unions to finalize the plan. So the unions as part of this plan. Under the law, these unions must sign off on the plan before it can be finalized. The plan outlines school level policies and central level policies. Very, very important. Next slide, please. So a summary of the draft class size reduction plan has been crystallized in those bullet points for you. The plan includes 1, updated statistics on class size compliance across New York City public schools. 2, proposal to set class size reduction targets to districts for superintendents to distribute across the schools and to ensure principals are prioritizing class sizes. So in our district, we have started a conversation already where many of our schools are already in compliance with the class size reductions. We'll talk about that as that will be filtered in over a period of time. So I think for the 24-25 school year, it has to be 3% has to be in compliance, 3%. So I think for many of our schools already in that complete threshold of that making that compliance. Non-exhaustive list of strategies that schools may undertake to reduce class sizes. So there are several strategies, hiring more teachers, of course, meaning more funding. I had a few chance to look at some of the budget presentations for different schools and the allocations, and there's some allocations of monies reserved for reduction of class sizes. So it's happening in stages, as I said. Next bullet point, additional funding for class size, including an additional $45 million in the Contract for Excellence funds. So, and an additional $137 million that schools may use for class size reduction. So, to meet the goal of reducing the class size. So some schools every school has been given allocation, but in different amount based on their needs. Updated capital planning strategy, of course, because sometimes it doesn't matter what, you just cannot stretch the school budget, right? So we need some capital funding to provide more buildings over time. So updated capital planning strategy that considers a range of school needs and ensures seats in development or meeting existing school needs. And then multiple strategies to support teacher recruitment and retention. We just had a large iron fair in our district, one of the first, to be done in the district, very successful, with over 700 applicants or candidates, and our schools have hired quite a number based on their need. A continued focus on high poverty schools will be the target. Constant focus on high poverty schools, and also improvement in data collection and analysis to support future implementation is also being considered. Next slide, please. So the public comment for the class size reduction plan, we will take public feedback into account in the coming weeks as we continue to work towards complying with this mandate. The deadline for submitting public comments will be June 24th, 2024. So you don't have to feel compelled to do the comments right now, but there'll be a process for everyone to participate in the public comment aspect. So we're educators, again, parents and caregivers, and all other members of the New York City community as a whole may submit their comments by email to, take notice of this, class_size@schools.nyc.gov. So the first one was different, was contract-for-excellence@schools.nyc.gov. That's for that. This is for the class size. Any questions or public comment about class size and how we are making that is very, very important. The draft plan also outlines the additional funding for class size, as I said before, which includes an additional $45 million. So they've already placed that into the contract for excellence funding category, which can be used for class size or any other eligible purposes. So that money is already there. And there's an additional $137 million that schools may only be used for class size, but may also be used subject to C4E. So what they're saying is that in the contract for excellence funding category, there is also monies that they have placed in that section to start address the class size issues. So in a nutshell, those are the contract for excellence funding that the state has provided, and New York City as a district must be in compliance with that. So I just in closing, I just want to make mention some final thoughts that as we wrap up the school year, we started very strongly, and we will finish strong. So starting strong and finish stronger is a mantra. And I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to our CEC members led by our esteemed President Vijay Ramjatan and his entire host for their unwavering dedication and tireless efforts in allowing us to lead. Your commitment to our community, the public, as well, has made a significant impact. And I am truly thankful for all that you do. And I'm also committed to continue the work. The work will continue. And together we can strive for success. Together, we have navigated challenges, celebrated achievements, and worked collaboratively as a community to create a very positive learning environment. Your leadership, passion, that's all the principals, everybody, and the community, the district community members, district team members and community members, your passion, teamwork have really been instrumental in shaping our school's success. As summer approaches, I wish to take this opportunity to wish you a well-deserved summer break from the norm, from the tediousness of the work, but one that is filled with relaxation, joy, and rejuvenation. And may this season bring warmth, laughter, and cherished memories this time. Looking forward to reconnecting in the fall. And until then, enjoy your well-deserved summer. Thank you very much for listening to the presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Blake and team. Again, this presentation, we will have a copy of it to put up on our website. Yes to that question that came up. I'll ask Dragomir if there's anything she wants to add following that presentation. And Dragomir, you could just introduce who you are so people know, and if there's anything else you want to add, Dragomir.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. I do see some questions. Not sure if some of them
we do take questions at the end of the presentations, only because this could be a very lengthy process for the questions. So we'll wait for a few minutes, and then we'll take all the questions right after the second presentation.
Yeah,
it'll be on topic.
I don't have anything to add. This is a pretty extensive presentation. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Vijay.
Yes.
So
at this point in time, Sonia, I'd like to ask Sonia to please add anything else that she wants to add. Sonia Royal. Okay, so we'll come back to Sonia in a few minutes once she gets back. So this month,
I'm here. I was trying to mute myself. Good evening, everyone. Just a couple of end of the year, I guess, highlights. The year has gone by so fast. But in terms of parent leadership, you know that you have voice here, but you also have voice at the school level and things that we're wrapping up. So for PA and PTAs, for parent associations and parent-teacher associations, just a couple of reminders. The annual financial form needs to be submitted by June 30th and shared with the membership, right, prior to the end of the school year. Elections, so if you haven't conducted elections as of yet, please reach out to me in President's Council. You should have had elections or had your date already scheduled. And then also your June transfer record meeting where the outgoing and incoming board sit with the principal and transfer all their records. In terms of SLT, you should be submitting your SLT remuneration form and also the SLT evaluation of the principal form. Again, if you have questions, you can also email me. And then finally, Title I, same thing, Title I, you should have had already your elections. If you haven't, please send me an email and I can guide you on that. Other than that, it's been a great year. It's been a fast year, a busy year. So I just want to thank everyone and you know where we are. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sonia. And at this time, I ask our recording secretary, Natifa Lewis, to make an announcement about the chat feature. Natifa?
Right, good evening again, everyone. So as is our custom, we do have our chat open. As a reminder, it is a courtesy for respectful communication. If the discourse it does not remain respectful, we reserve the right to close the chat. If you do have questions or comments to make, whether it's on any of the presentations or other community issues, please type the word speak and you will be added to the list that is being accumulated, and you will have an opportunity to make your comments or ask your questions during the public comment section. Thank you.
Thank you, Natifa Lewis. Yes, so our members, Tanya Wendt and Quentin Mezzitin, will be monitoring the chat feature. And those of you who put the name, just put the word speak, and we'll capture that in our feed, and we'll list you in order of the public comment, and we'll call you to speak after our next presentation. So my dear friends, it's June month. You believe this? We just had Christmas. What happened, right? But it's June also, so it's a month to celebrate a lot of things. This is Pride Month. Happy Pride to everyone who celebrate Pride. Live pridefully. Happy Pride. It's also Juneteenth month. Juneteenth is celebrated on this month also. We also have it's PTSD Awareness Month. Also, did you know that? It's also Men's Health Awareness Month. It's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to everyone who is celebrating Father's Day. And you don't have to be a biological father to be a father. We all the mothers who are fathers also. Happy Father's Day to you. It's Caribbean American Heritage Month. Also, congratulations to that. National DJ Month. Who's a DJ here? This jockey, right? National DJ Month. And it's African American Music Appreciation Month. Also, it's also Migraine and Headaches Month. Did you know that? It's Migraine and Headache Month also. And last but not least, for the parents who save all the candy from the Halloween, events, it's Candy Month. Did you know that? So now you know. So happy Everything Month. But most importantly, here at the CEC, we always try to make sure we have some form of knowledge base per celebrating the month. And we have wonderful members, Simone Dornbach and others here who are always keeping us abreast of what's each month. And this month, and Natifa, yeah, of course. This month we are so lucky to have one of the main, I would say, one of the most prominent and very active groups in our community, District 28 here, who has been doing a lot of LGBTQAI awareness work and advocacy in our community. And I believe, they happen to also be Caribbean. So we're doing two things with one thing. We're celebrating Pride Month with this organization, and we're also celebrating Caribbean Heritage Month also with this next presenter. And it gives me great honor to welcome the Executive Director of the Caribbean Equality Project, Mohammed Q. Amin, who will present next. Happy Pride.
Hi, everyone. I want to start by thanking the Community Education Council, District 28, for welcoming me into this space. As Vijay mentioned, we are celebrating a lot of things this month, as we always do every single month. But it is Pride Month, and it's also Caribbean American Heritage Month. And these two identities are important to myself and the community that I serve and represent. My name is Mohammed Q. Amin. I am the founder and executive director of the Caribbean Equality Project. And I'm going to just share a little bit about who we are today. So the Caribbean Equality Project, this year we are celebrating Pride and going to be participating in a lot of the different visibility parades that are happening throughout New York City. We just recently participated in Queen's Pride. Our theme and a message that we always present to our community is to live. Yes?
I'm not sure if your screen is saying something or presenter window. Maybe there's a pop-up that's blocking your screen from sharing it. Try it again. There's a pop. Go look for the pop-up when it comes up. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay, let me, I'm so sorry. Let me try that again. I apologize.
That's okay.
So while I fix this, I just want to share a little bit about the Caribbean Equality Project. We were started in 2015 in response to anti-LGBTQ hate violence, an incident that my partner, my brother, and I survived in Richmond Hill, Queens. That incident took place in 2013. And after that incident, it really forced me to reconcile with what it means to be queer and what it means to be Caribbean, and hence the need for an organization to represent both of these identities. And I'm just going to share my screen to make sure that you can see the presentation. Could you just give me a thumbs up if you can see it?
There it is. Perfect.
Okay, perfect. So our theme for this year is Live Pridefully. We will not be erased. Currently, there are over 450 anti-LGBTQ bills that have been proposed, and some of them have even been passed throughout the United States that threatens the lives of LGBTQ people, including students. Hey, that's me. And as an organization, as I mentioned, we were founded in 2015 in response to anti-LGBTQ hate violence. Today, the Caribbean Equality Project is one of the few Caribbean LGBTQ immigrants' rights organization in New York City. We primarily serve Afro and Indo-Caribbean LGBTQ immigrants. And our work is hyper-local, such as Little Guyana in Richmond Hill, Queens, Little Caribbean in Brooklyn, and Castle Hill and Soundview in the Bronx. And our work itself range from direct services, such as immigration resources, food justice, and also doing a lot of legislative advocacy work, which I'll talk about later. So annually, one of the things that we do as an organization in 2020, everyone know that we have navigated a pandemic, and our community, particularly in South Queens, we're experiencing food insecurity, and we created a food justice program. To date, our food justice program still continues. We have served over 135,000 immigrant families through our food justice program. It happened once a month now in particularly Flatbush, Brooklyn. But during the pandemic, it was the first Saturday in South Queens, and it was the third Saturday in Flatbush, Brooklyn. We have continued our Flatbush, Brooklyn food pantry work, which continues to serve Afro-Indo-Caribbean immigrants, Latinx immigrants, and a large Haitian population in Flatbush, Brooklyn as well. As part of our work, we also do a lot of civic engagement work with our community. We believe in building political power, and part of that work means registering eligible voters, hosting candidate forums, doing a lot of voter advocacy work, and also redistricting. For the past 3 years, we have been doing redistricting advocacy to make sure that Richmond Hill and South Ozone Park were kept in a single assembly district. When we started our redistricting work in 2020, Richmond Hill was divided into 7 assembly districts. Imagine the small community of South Asian Indo-Caribbean people divided into 7 assembly districts. After our redistricting advocacy work, we were able to get it from 7 to 4 districts. And while I don't necessarily consider that a major win, it is a win in the way that we can build power with our elected officials and to advocate for greater equity in resources to our South Queens community. And also our campaign is called Mash Up the Vote. We are a Caribbean organization, so our work itself is very culturally responsive. So there is an election coming up, and if you are a registered voter, I encourage all of you to go mash up the vote. We also have a trans justice unit, and particularly through our trans justice unit, we're able to support trans and non-binary people navigate trans-affirming care, legislative advocacy, immigration. We also host a lot of New York rights workshops for many community members who are asylum seekers that comes from the Caribbean. Our trans justice unit happens to be one of the first stops for these folks. We connect them to city services so they can get IDs that affirms who they are, but also to connect them to healthcare. For many of our trans and non-binary Caribbean folks, New York City is a lifeline and can also be a safe haven for them. Last year, our trans justice coordinator, Tiffany Jade Monroe, was a part of a coalition who led a historic victory to make New York State a safe haven for any trans and non-binary child who needs trans-affirming care, but also their parents. Currently, we're seeing in certain states that parents are being criminalized for providing trans-affirming care to their children. But in New York, all children can access care and their parents without criminalization. We also have a support group that we run. It's called Unchained. It meets on the second Monday of every month in Richmond Hill, Queens, and it meets on the last Monday in every month in Crown Heights, Brooklyn. And through our support group, it's a space for LGBTQ people, their families, and parents. We also have a lot of young people from District 28 that actually attends our support group, but for confidentiality reasons, we do not show their faces, and we respect their privacy as well. But through our Unchained group, community members are able to access culturally competent mental health services. We know how important this is. It has always been. But oftentimes for Caribbean families, mental health is something that is not often prioritized. But at the Caribbean Equality Project, it is something that we focus on heavily. Every year, we participate in the annual Queen's Pride Parade, as I mentioned. As a Caribbean organization, we celebrate our Afro-Indo-Caribbean heritage. I personally identify as a queer Indo-Caribbean immigrant, a Muslim person, and a descendant of indentured laborers. My ancestors came to the Caribbean 186 years ago through indentureship. And through migration, particularly double migration, we have now called New York City home. And that is also very similar for a lot of our Afro-Caribbean partners and community members. So we celebrate all of our Caribbean identities throughout New York City during Pride Month and also Caribbean Heritage Month. Annually, the Caribbean Equality Project participates in the Pago Parade, which takes place in Richmond Hill, Queens. In 2019, we convened what is now known as the Pago Social Justice Collective, and this is a contingent that participates in this parade that leads the social justice movement. It's made up of community partners such as the Jahaji Sisters, South Queens Women's March, Chaya. These are all community-based organizations that does gender justice, LGBTQ, and housing advocacy work in District 28. We are also doing a lot of workers' rights advocacy work as an organization. We believe in advancing workers' rights for all workers. That also includes LGBTQ workers. We have been seeing, particularly during the pandemic and post-pandemic, we saw a lot of undocumented workers being fired. As many folks may know, undocumented folks did not qualify for any type of government support during the pandemic, and it left a lot of our community members vulnerable, including not having any type of resources for housing. And many of these folks are currently facing housing eviction as well. So part of the Caribbean Equality Project work is also advocating for workers' rights. And that's all workers, not just LGBTQ folks. At the state level, we are currently advocating for Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander history to be integrated in social studies curriculum. We believe that Indo-Caribbean history is Asian American history, and particularly this is a school council meeting. We also believe that the history that's being taught in school should really reflect the students that are sitting in those classrooms. This bill was currently passed in the New York State Senate district, in the New York State Senate this year. It is actually led by Senator John Liu and Assemblymember Grace Lee, both of whom are pictured in this photo. This was taken at our 2024 Advocacy Day with the Reach Coalition just last month. A lot of our work is very much volunteer-led. We have a community action team that is made up of community members, those who are documented or undocumented, asylum seekers, newly arrived migrants that are seeking safety in New York City. These are some of our volunteers that support our work year-round. We also host an annual conference called Caribbean Crossings. It focuses on addressing cross-racial solidarity. We know within the South Asian, Indo-Caribbean, Afro-Caribbean community, within the Caribbean community as a whole, anti-Blackness and racism continues to be an issue that impacts us. Our Caribbean Crossings Conference in itself confronts cross-racial solidarity and gender-based violence. This conference is particularly done in partnership with CUNY, and it's open to high school students and all CUNY students. As an organization, we believe in building leaders. Annually, we host a leadership and capacity building summit where our community members can learn leadership skills. We talk about relationship building, knowledge sharing, and also reflect on the programs and services that the organization runs year-round. A little fun fact about the organization, this year is our 9th anniversary. Next year, we're going to be celebrating 10 years of advocacy in New York City and New York State. We are going to be hosting our first gala. Our goal by 2026 is to open a center, which will become the first Caribbean LGBTQ center in New York City. And our goal is to have that center in Richmond Hill, Queens, where I currently live and work. And for folks who have any questions about the Caribbean Equality Project, you can find us at CaribbeanEqualityProject.org. You can also connect with us on social media at Carib Equality on Facebook and Instagram. And if you still use Twitter, you can find us there at Carib Equality. I really want to thank the council for having me today. And I understand how historic this particular presentation has been for our community. And again, if you are a registered voter, please use your power and vote this election coming up. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Mohammed Amin. This is, yes, it's historic. It's the first time we have ever had a LGBTQAI. I also say it slowly because I want to make sure I say it all. LGBTQAI representative organization ever present at this council meeting, and even before back then, it never happened. So you have broken barriers, and we are building bridges with you and your organization. And we'd love to hear more about your work and to really celebrate the incredible work you're doing to provide a safe space for anyone, everyone in our community. And thank you for the advocacy work that you do. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I want to close by saying thank you to all the parents and teachers and principals that really create a safe and affirming space for students to learn in. I personally didn't have that when I went to school in New York City. So it really warms my heart to know that this particular council believe in education and believe in equity for all students. So thank you again for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. If you could stick around, we'll have questions later on. If anyone else have questions for the CEP Caribbean Equality Project, later on you can also ask. Again, I want to remind everyone the chat is open. Definitely be respectful of the chat feature, and also to write the word speak if you want to speak. And at 7:45, we'll be closing the chat feature in terms of speaking. So sign up to speak before 7:45. Then we'll call your name in the order in which you have signed up. So at this point in time, we'll be calling on Ms. Cherise Black from the district office to please bring a few remarks.
Good evening, everyone. I am a District Achievement Instructional Specialist for District 28. And in addition to supporting some of our schools, I have also had the pleasure of supporting the computer-based testing team. We recently received some questions with regards to the process around computer-based testing and the preparation for it. So last year, there was 3 schools in the district that participated in the computer-based testing pilot. That was Junior High School 190, PS 80, and 220. And with that, the district created a computer-based testing team composed of several principals in order to discuss some of the lessons learned from the testing pilot and determine what support principals and schools will need to administer the test for the first time. So the CBT team used the New York City Public Schools testing resources from NWEA and Nextera to share best practices and timelines for implementation for computer-based testing. They also designed and provided training for school leaders and testing coordinators to support with testing. Teachers are able to use the resources provided to administer practice tests, as well as show students how to use the computer for online testing and accessing the appropriate tools. So we received a question about teaching students typing for elementary school. And after speaking to some of the elementary principals, some schools shared that they use websites such as Typing Club, but it was met with mixed reviews. And principals also shared that the students do not necessarily need formal typing skills to be able to respond for computer-based test questions. The thing that is most important is for the students to become familiar with how to use the tools. So most students benefited by being able to practice, as well as some students who already take computer-based testing as part of their curriculum and classes. Our computer-based team will reconvene during the summer to identify next steps to provide support and guidance for our D28 schools. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Charisse. And please stick around. I know there may be questions that your team could potentially answer from the district office later on per different things that's being mentioned in the chat. Quickly, for everyone, we have a lot of different elected official representatives in our meeting tonight. So if you are here from an elected official office, please raise your hand. Only those who are from an elected official office, please just raise your hand, and I'll call you in the order in which you raise your hand. And please, I'm going to give you no more than like 3 minutes because we do have packed agenda. So you can bring greetings and share any important information from your elected official offices. We'll be happy to have you do that. I'll ask you, Kat Zapata, to please unmute. Let me ask you to unmute. There you go. Go for it.
Hi, Vijay, and hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having us. I'm sorry I can't stay for the remainder of the evening. I have another call in about 10 minutes, but I do want to say I hope you all have a happy summer. I will leave my email. Please feel free to contact our office as always if anything. We do have a parent advisory board meeting coming up on June 26th, which I'll share more details on, and it will be featuring youth safety and civic engagement, where we'll actually have the New York City Sheriff Miranda come in and speak about his new initiative to close down the illegal smoke shops across the borough. So we're looking forward to that. I will share those details. And then we are also finalizing someone from New York City Public Schools to come in and speak about youth safety. We will also be hosting back to school distribution events across the borough, so please be on the lookout for that. And then also want to note that the Department of Education at the Queensborough Hall will have its own newsletter, so we'll make sure to add all parents here, all council members as well, so we can get you all on our monthly newsletter to have all information and resources possible. So thank you all once again. Thank you, Vijay, and I hope you all have a great summer.
Thank you so much, Kat, and please send our greetings to the borough president and thanking him for being our keynote speaker at our breakfast. Excellent job, and he is a partner with us, and we very much appreciate him, his work, and of course your work. Thank you so much. Ari Ines, go for it.
Sorry, my computer was not computering. Sorry, I'm in the brightest room I could find. Hi everyone, CEC28. So glad to be here. I love you guys meeting every month. It's awesome. Just wanted to let you know a couple of events that the Center will be having. Let me just pull that up. So we are going to be co-hosting a skate festival. Councilmember Williams' office is the primary. We're co-hosting a skate festival on June 8th, this Saturday. It will be at Hollis Playground, which is at Hollis Avenue and 204th Street. We're also going to be, I don't know if anyone saw a flyer for a clergy event that's going to be happening at the Robert Ross Johnson Family Life Center. That's been postponed. We just got information about that today. So please don't, if you're a member of clergy or you know a member of clergy who's planning to attend, just let them know it's been postponed. We've posted it on our website as of today. But there will be the Faith-Based Housing and Development Forum with the Attorney General's office, which the senator and a number of electeds have signed on to. It's going to be Wednesday, June 12th, 6 to 8 p.m. We're inviting all clergy members, deacons, pastors, priests, whatever your affiliation may be, doesn't matter. Please attend this event. You can RSVP. I will definitely share the flyer. I think I shared the flyer in the chat. You can just take a look at that. Just to let you know that JFK will be hosting a showing of Disney planes. That's going to be on June 14th, 6 to 9 at JFK. I think it's at their center, JFK Development Center, 14433 Jamaica Avenue. There's going to be a free Father's Day brunch, Hearts for Homes, Inc., Sunday, June 16th, 10905 Farmers Boulevard. There's also Spring into Health, Saturday, June 22nd, 11 to 5 at the Thomas White Jr. Foundation. That's on Tuskegee Airman Way. Going through this as fast as I can. Classic Cars and Family Fun Day with Patrol Borough Queens South, June 23rd, 12 to 4 at Queens College. And of course, we have our mobile office hours, which we are co-hosting with Councilmember Williams. So the next one is going to be Wednesday, June 26th at South Hollis Library. Then we'll have one again in July 31st at Guy Brewer, South Jamaica Library. That's on Guy Brewer Boulevard. Just wanted to mention there's not a flyer here for that, but on the 22nd, we will be hosting a summer kickoff at St. Albans Park / Archie Spigner Park from 11 to 3 p.m. All families, parents, kids, grandparents, whoever wants to come on by. It should be fun. It will be fun. Not should be fun. It will be fun, and we hope to see everyone coming out. Senator sends his greetings. He's still in Albany. Stuck. Session is going longer than we have expected. Hopefully, he can come back down to the district next week. But thank you so much. Have a good one.
Thank you so much, Ari, and please give our greetings to the senator. Let him know that we appreciate his presence, advocacy, and for always being present. Please let him know that's important to us, that we see him, we know him. He and Senator Liu has always been two people who have always been very visible and present at our meetings, and the borough president, of course, and we want to acknowledge that and say that we do appreciate when our elected officials do show up and be present at our meetings. Let him know that we can't wait to see him again. Thank you. Folks, at this point in time, okay, so at this point in time, before I call on our 7:41, so we have 4 more minutes. If you want to speak, please write the word speak on the chat feature. At 7:45, we will stop taking names. And this is the way the public gets to interact with the superintendent's office. You have a comment, you have a question, you have a concern, that's the time that you will get a chance to do so. Our able Tanya Wendt and Quentin Mezzatine are strictly watching the screen to make sure they get everyone's name. So look at Quentin doing it, right? So they are hawks on the screen doing a great job to make sure that they capture your name. So please do so. At this point in time, before we move to the council members' comments, I want to thank them. I did say thanks to each of you before, but I want to thank each of you council members who are here and those who are virtual for really being amazing council members. This year, I think we have touched almost all schools. We have gone to visit the schools, and your reports that you have sent to us here, the pictures you have sent, it really shows your heart is in this 100%. And thank you all for really being present in the community and being great liaisons to our school community, and also too for elevating concerns and requests that the schools had. It means a lot, and each of you deserves a presidential award, in my opinion. We're gonna make that happen, Dr. Hall, right? So at this point in time, I'm gonna call each of you. Please, we have a lot to cover, so I'll ask you to keep your comments to a minimal if possible. First, Vice President Lu Zhao.
Hi, everyone. I'm sorry I didn't do too much this month. Whole lot of personal stuff. But one thing I want to mention is the CCHS just recently passed a resolution on the high school admission reform. I only briefly read it. I want to read a little bit more in detail. I highly suggest other members also read it or think about it. I plan to give a initial draft of something similar to that nature, but probably we have a different idea. Because I think the admission, high school admission is a big issue. I think it's equity issue because very simple, people who knows do very well in the process and people who don't will get lost. And you probably just, the life just deal your card and you take it. So this is a big issue in my opinion. So I want to other member also try to take a notice on that, and we can discuss about what we need to bring up. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, First Vice President Lou Zhao. Next, we have Second Vice President Nuran Schwapner.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Congratulations to everyone, parents, school staff, for completing another school year. Last month, May, I was able to visit 3 schools, and some bringing back some reports. I visited PS 121, Principal Petrolio School. Petrolio. I'm sorry, forgive me. He's an amazing guy, and he's doing an amazing job. This was like, I visited the school, I think after a few years, and I like the improvement. So thank you. We do have some concerns. The migrant influx, it's raising some health and safety concern for the community. Like a lot of people are not getting vaccinated, and it's not good. As a parent, I want, all the kids to be vaccinated along with those that are already in the school system. Therefore, like, we discussed if they could provide like mobile vaccination, like, so that parents that came from other places, they don't have nothing right now. They need all the support we can give to them. And we did talk about like having air conditioning for their auditorium and the cafeteria. But they're doing an amazing job. Thank you. Like, you guys are doing amazing. And then I had the privilege of visiting PS 99. Some good news. They had their auditorium done, and they're also requesting for a small classroom. They started the STEM aqua pond, and they could use some funding a lot of funding to upgrade their technology. And shout out to them for winning the basketball league for District 28 champions. And it would be good if if the city can fund them, because City College do charge them money. That's for PS 99. And last school that I visited was PS 55. This was my second visit there. So we have some major concern over there. One was the gym. So basically, their gym is in a classroom with tiles, and it's very compact. The floors are very slippery. I was there, I observed entire period to get the glimpse of how the kids run around. It is basically very small, and it's very dangerous for kids to run around. And for their outdoor play area, the turfs has sinkhole, and I literally stepped in one or two. And the school staff had to put cones to block those areas. Some of the sinkholes were filled up. I took images, which I can share to the public if you guys need to look at it. And Also, they don't have lock. They cannot lock their outdoor. And they had a break-in. Someone tried stealing a scooter, and when the staff member, public can walk in easily, and the school staff got into a couple of altercation because they need to keep the students safe in there. So they don't have a lock. They did have few people try fixing it, but they don't fix it. I think they need to repair the entire gating system. And their cafeteria need improvement. I took pictures. The kitchen always get write up by Board of Health for their floor. Basically, their floor is not good. And I also saw their auditorium. The auditorium is very small. The stage, it's not good. The chairs, the curtains, every little thing, they need upgrade there. For their participatory budget, it didn't fall through. For some reason, the school was accidentally placed as District 29 school. And then when the deadline went away, they were placed back as District 28. So, and when the school did inquiry on it, all the blame went to the intern for making mistakes. And sadly, it was because I was there, it was my second visit there. And I was able to take a lot of pictures. I even took some videos. I would like this to get a little bit, we don't want to lose any child there, especially the log, the turf, the outdoor turf gym. We don't want anyone snatching one of those kids from there. That would be a very terrible loss. I hope it could come to the attention of, everyone in a position to help to fix this. That would be my report for this month. And I hope everyone have a wonderful summer, and thank you.
Thank you, Nuran. And Nuran doing an amazing job. And Nuran speaks like 10 languages. She's amazing. So, but
No, not 10, not 10. I think five,
and she goes,
5 or 6.
well, 5 or 6, she tells me. Well, you're just
Yeah,
fine.
not
Right?
10.
I could barely get through one English.
Yeah.
But Nuran, thank you for your amazing work. You came on this board as a multilingual person, and you really go to the schools and you meet the families where they are. And we appreciate the diversity on our board, and we celebrate that. And thank you for really being a voice for a lot of Bengali families who often feels left out in these spaces. I want to add one more task to your plate for us as we go to the next year to find a way, how can we engage with the Bengali families and any other families, the Sikh community, to really let them be part of these conversations and let them know they can serve on these kind of boards as well. Thank you, everyone, for your great work.
Thank you.
Our next person we have is Recording Secretary Latifa Lewis.
Okay, hi, good evening, everyone. Unfortunately, in the last month, I was not necessarily able to make physical visits. As VJ said, I had a busy personal month. Off Broadway, but close to so some of the ongoing issues though with some of my schools, many of them, they really just want to get updates from the capital funding requests, in particular 312 and 40 for their outdated school system. So communication is an issue, as well as the AC products in there. PS48 is one of the few schools, or probably I think the only one in our district, that has not at the middle school level, but at the elementary level, a full-fledged production, theater productions and so forth, where the students also do a lot of the back end parts. So that did not necessarily make our top 5, but it's on there. And it's one of the ones that they're looking for, whether it's community partnerships or whatever funding to help redo that. They did have a major upgrade like over 10 years ago, and they're in need of some of those spaces. there have been questions from families related to class size and so forth. So I know some things were addressed in the presentation, and those emails for feedback and so forth have been provided. So hopefully those are in there. And many of these schools are having some wonderful end of year productions and so forth. I have not been able to connect this semester with Mel's, but Jessica, I'm still hoping that before the year's ended that I can connect in person. And so yeah, my report this week is pretty short. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Next, we're gonna go to our treasurer, Mr. Yu Tao Chen.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Good to see everyone here. So in the past month or so, I was too busy processing reimbursement requests, so I didn't do anything else. Just kidding. I had like 2 school visits in PS 101 and PS 117, and I met with the principals, the PA members, the school SLE teams, and they're like amazing people, and they had an extraordinary experience. And I just want to mention a few highlights. In PS 101, I found like they have like an extremely efficient and valuable social emotional learning project called Ruler from Yale University. I'm not sure if it's a lot of parents heard about it, but it's a pilot program that PS 101 started, and it's helps the students to recognize their emotions and control their emotions, and recognize other people's other students' emotions. It's okay. It's a extremely valuable program. I see how the students behave and how they respect the rules and how they refer to the program when they actually conduct their daily life. It's so amazing. I wish like all the kids get a chance to get into some kind of a program like that, especially elementary school kids. So that's going to be hugely impactful to their social emotional skills and their just happiness, well-being in the public school program. And also I saw their amazing BTV, that's a student-run like TV program. They give like daily updates, weather forecasts, sports reports, and the student council was highly involved in that process. And I think that's gives the students a lot of power, a lot of ownership, and a lot of responsibilities. And it's a great opportunity for all the kids to get involved and engaged. I think that's a lot of great learning opportunity or sharing opportunities that we can communicate with other schools to, to do something similar and make things happen and create opportunities for the kids. And also I went to a PS 117. I met Principal Van Gouten, and I was very impressed by the program they launched to get the students involved, so that they are engaged in their community, because PS 117 is also known as the Briarwood school. That's the only elementary school in their neighborhood. So they are really into the community and the neighborhood, and create a like sense of belonging for the kids, for the students. It's a great opportunity, great experience for not only for me. I believe that's a great experience for the students there. And I see they're also very involved in all kinds of activities like sports, arts, and competitions, etc. And it's really, I feel like there are a lot of opportunities we can learn from each other, from different schools, and we can a lot of things we can share And one thing came out common in the two school visits are like they want to get more involved in sports and the district-wide leagues. So that will be interesting to, for someone to organize and to invest in, and for the kids to participate. It's going to be a lot of fun for the kids. Yes, there are a lot of other things I want to cover, but I'm going to include that in the my report. And yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Utah, and thanks for the great work as well. Next we have, just want to make a mention really quickly. One of our member, Jay Lin, had to, due to personal reasons, he had asked to vacate his seat, and the council has accepted that not vacation, that seat to be vacated. But we wish him well, and he was an honorable member, and we miss him dearly. So just also want to also mention that we do have a vacant seat on our council, and the application on our website, CEC28.org. I'll be asking our admin to please put that link on the chat so people can apply for that. So at this point in time, we'll ask Julie Suh. I know I saw you on there. If you could unmute and make your contribution, Julie.
So just on Julie's behalf, she did not have much updates as she was out this week, but she was approached by parents asking again for concerns about the class size law, and I think there was one other thing she mentioned. Sorry. She was just on a celebratory note, she's invited to the celebration for PS 303 selection at the Blue Ribbon School. So so that's Julie's update.
Amazing, Julie. We did a great job for you. Next, we have Quentin Mesetin, our D75 representative. Quentin?
Let's go. So just looking at my notes, I'm gonna be about 10 to 15 minutes. Nah, I'm playing.
You're the person.
All right. So just for the start, Principal Holder, our schedules have not met, and I take full responsibility for that. So we will find time to meet this month before school closes, because one of us owe each other breakfast or something. We're gonna figure that out, but I will be at your school this month. And Principal Angela T, 175. It's like, I love the SLT meetings. Can't wait to meet you in person. So we also have to set that up this month. I'm looking forward to that. But your school is doing phenomenal. I actually love waking up at 6:45 to be on your SLT meeting. It's amazing. Now, I'm not even joking. Like, it's a great time. Like, you guys are so full of energy, cameras on, and I'm just there in like pajamas. But Queens Gateway, great. I actually attended their PTA meeting. They had their new elections, and it went phenomenal. And they're doing a lot of really big things. Just touch real quick. They reestablished their relationship with Queens Hospital, and their first visit will be next Monday, June 10th, for their soft launch program for their whole school, starting in September. Their York Step program is now part of Queens Gateway, serving underrepresented and minority students with opportunities for research and STEM activities. And I was able to attend that, and I'm actually going to the hospital for that soft launch. So that's phenomenal news for that school. And 811Q does a lot of amazing things in so many schools. I was able to attend their carnival yesterday, and that was phenomenal. We had a lot of fun. Wish we could have been there. And I just want to let everybody know, last but not least, but take some time to just, say a quick prayer for the Signal family. They went through a loss, and that touched me. I consider Principal Signal a friend of mine, and that was really hard to hear. And yeah, that's my time. I just made a year, guys. We got a year left. I just made a year. Let's go. Only gonna get better.
All the council members and all 100 people here clapping. It's amazing. When Quentin joined the council, he was elected last year. He told me, "What am I going to do?" I'm like, "My brother, there's so much to do. You will see." And he hit the ground running, and we are grateful for your work. You've left a mark. You didn't leave us yet, but you so far your mark has been permanent. Thank you, sir. Next, we're going to be having Simone Dornbach. Remember?
Thank you, Vijay. 1 second. Good evening, everyone. I want to say thank you to Ms. Charisse Black for getting updates on the computer-based testing. That was something that was really important to me, and I'm really thrilled to hear that the district is proactively working things out and helping schools to sort this out, because it's not going to be easy with third graders who had a very disruptive first kindergarten year during the pandemic. So I really appreciate that the district is taking inquiries or asked from parents seriously and is following up. So parents, I encourage you to reach out to us members or during the CEC meetings, because the district really is taking those questions seriously and trying to address it as much as they can. I had a very busy month, and so it's going to take a little bit too. I went to visit PS80, Thurgood Marshall Elementary School. It's an amazing school. They're just getting a new HVAC system. They're getting a new library. They're also getting a new multi-purpose room. Their auditorium was just updated. And walking through the building, I just felt like it was a very welcoming and nourishing environment for the kids to learn. They have 3K children, so that was super cute. And I love to hear how they're accommodating children with their IEPs, and how they make sure that they get the services that they need so that they can grow and thrive. I attended 2 public hearings on charter schools, Zeta and Success Academy. Both of them want to open a school in District 28. While in general, I don't have any issue with charter schools, I think the timing couldn't be worse, because with the new class size law, it is really, we don't have enough space right now. And so we need first to have the space for the public students before we can open up space for charter schools. I also attended 1 public hearing on the class size law to give feedback. What's really important is, I mean, it is the law. There's nothing that can be changed about that. But what can be done is that it's implemented in a thoughtful way. And that was like most parents and teachers who sign up to comment were really urging the DOE to be thoughtful about it and to do it, to start doing it. And then I would like to just share a couple of opportunities and events. On Sunday, June 23rd, from 4 to 6 p.m., there will be a community budget meeting where members of the community are invited. It is really to fight against the budget cuts that are currently underway, and to learn why New York City must invest in our education, in our libraries in CUNY. It is at Liberty Palace, and I will share it in the chat. It's also voting season, so please go and vote. Children 11 years and up are entitled to vote. It's something very special. My own kid was really proud that she could vote in the Civic Engagement Commission. I'm going to share that in the link. But yeah, so everybody can vote. You don't have to be a citizen. Before I was a citizen, that was like, I was always super happy when I could participate in the participatory budgeting process. So this is one way to also, teach your children to be a good citizen. Housing Section 8 is opening up. It hasn't been available in several years. I'm going to post the link. It's only for a couple of days. I believe at the end of this week, it will close. So please make sure to go to that link right away. We always get these emails, lots of emails, and I'm looking through what might be interesting for our community. There is a free education opportunity for elementary and middle school students from the Port Authority, and I will put that into the chat as well. And that's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you again, Simone. Simone always brings like lots of links. I love that. She's talking about it and she's like, I have links to back it up. Right. So she shares the links, and what we can probably do is share those links with Dorinda as well. that we can probably put those on our websites, because I think they're time and very like important stuff for the community. And that'd be great knowing that we could share on our website as well. Thank you so much. Thank you, Simone. Next we have member Adriana Alicier.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? No? Yes?
Can you, yes, yes. Can everyone hear Adriana? Yes. Thumbs up or thumbs down if you can or not. Thumbs up, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Hi, everyone. I want to echo all the well wishes for this school year. I am very happy that it's June. In the interest of time, since it's already after 8, I'm going to highlight 3-ish of the meetings. No one, can you guys hear me? Oh, okay. I'll just talk louder in general. Okay. I'm going to highlight 3-ish of the meetings I attended this past month. I attended PS86Q's SLT meeting, and I want to say thank you to Ms. Jordan, Principal Rivera, and the entire SLT for allowing me to join your meeting. There are some key takeaways that I want to uplift here. So in March, I reported that they had reviewed their attendance data and they had planned to revisit their chronic absenteeism CEP goal. At their last meeting, they reported that their attendance rates improved, with 36% of their students chronically absent or at risk of being chronically absent. And that's huge because at this time last year, they were at 4% or 41%. So they had a loss of 5% of chronic absenteeism, which is pretty amazing. I also reported that they had reviewed their 2021 New York State math results, and the students had performed comparably to the district and the state at their SLT meeting. They confirmed that last year's test scores were above the New York average, which is also great. And I want to just say thank you again to Principal Rivera and 86Q for all of your work. The second is actually two. I attended along with Simone. We weren't together, but we were there at the same time. And I testified in my personal capacity at 2 charter hearings in 1 week for Success Academy and for Zeta. It was the same as Simone, so I won't belabor that point. But what I do want to say is that this process, again, was a bit rushed. I'm sure that many of you remember the amazing success that District 28 experienced last year with our co-location request being pulled, though it was forced through initially. So I wanted to highlight that here tonight because the notification process for both of these hearings was negligible. It was basically non-existent. Please be on the lookout for updates about any of those. I'm sure Bruce, if he's going to speak, is going to speak about that as well. And the last thing that I want to mention tonight, we had the Queens C4E borough hearing like last week-ish. I testified there in my personal capacity as well. I wanted to be sure that the D75 students, parents, and families aren't forgotten in this conversation. It's really, really important that the community is aware of which schools in our district that may be overcrowded also house either special education or self-contained classes, or have D75 schools or classes co-located with non-special education students. That part's really important. And that's important because we should try to avoid the co-location of D75 classes together, because that can inadvertently further limit whatever access existed for students to experience enrichment with their peers. The more that we can avoid that, the better. Thank you all for a great year. I'll be here all night.
Thank you, Adriana. Next, we have Councilmember Tanya Wendt.
Hello, hopefully everyone can hear me okay. I'm the last to go. I'll try to keep it short. My name is Tanya Wendt. I'm the liaison for PS 220, MS 287, and MS 332. I was able to visit PS 220. I had visited them one other time this year for an in-person SLT meeting. They're wonderful. I can't speak enough about how wonderful their SLT meetings are, but I wanted to go actually see the whole entire school. So I was invited back, and Principal Pizarro gave me the full tour. It was a great tour. She's very involved. Students work, of course, on the walls. The students were in the morning to recite the pledge, and she said every morning kind of rotate in different kids to read the pledge and say the announcements, which I thought was wonderful and great. I was able to see that they have had some improvements and got some new bathrooms, but like many of our schools still need, more air conditioning in especially common areas where it can get very hot, and especially on a day like today. We all probably felt it in some places that we were at. So, and then I was actually invited back by the the parent coordinator, Mrs. Torres, for their International Day, which they had just recently, and it was the students performing certain dances from different cultures, and then also the parents came in to display memorabilia and things from their own heritage and from their own background, which was great. It was on the playground. They've got a huge, really nice area that they've got for an outdoor space there. So the parents kind of set up shop, and then classrooms of kids got to come through and see the various cultures represented from the school, which I think is always such a nice thing because, you know, representation matters, of course, and being able to celebrate your background matters, and being able to see that was wonderful. So that was my report, my month. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Tanya, for your report. And also, Councilmember Gurmurti Kalinaram is not able to attend today, but he also has been doing a lot of work, and he gets pictures and everything with the principals, which is amazing. He does a great job as well. All of our members does. My little report is just to highlight a few things. I also visited one of my schools, PS 160 in South Jamaica. Principal Tiffany Hicks, phenomenal principal. One of the things that really stood out about me is her open door policy for children of the school to just walk into her office and say, "I want a hug." And you saw that during my visit, they just walked up to her and said, "Can I get a hug? Can I get a hug? Can I get a hug?" And she was just the most welcoming and loving. Wow. I think when kids feel like they're part of something beyond just a brick and mortar, they get that comfort and that support system in school. It meant so much to the kids who stepped in her office. The culture of the school itself was very welcoming. You can see all the staff members and all the janitors. The appreciation for everyone who was part of the school community was just superb to see that. They have a new building extension that they're happening right now. This is beautiful. In September, they are going to be having the opening of the school, the new extension. I'll tell everyone here so we can all go and support the extension of the school. Also, PS 140, Principal Hasbury, Signal. As Quentin mentioned, her family, experiencing a difficult time right now, and the CEC is aware of that. We have expressed our concerns and our thoughts and our condolences, and all of you, please keep her in your prayer. She does respect, having her space, but please keep her in your prayer as well. And to the community, we let you know, to the principals, we're not here to criticize or critique you. We're here to work with you. But we, over the years, we build a wonderful, collaborative, friendly relationship with all of you. And we have a working, amazing relationship with all of you. And we send our condolences to Principal Hasbury, Signal Hasbury. Yeah. And as I mentioned before, we do have a vacant seat on our council. So because we have not announced that seat vacancy at one of our public meetings like this, we are going to extend the vacancy seat opening for one more week. So the close for the application will be on June 13th, which we hope by July, or first meeting in July, we can seat our person before that. Because we never announced it publicly here that we have a vacant seat for those who don't have technology abilities. But do know, can we please post the link to that page where the application is on our chat feature now? So if there's anyone here who would like to apply to be a member of our council, we would love for you to do so. There's a process. That phase has to vet your application, and after which we will get your application here. Today's business meeting, we'll form a committee to do the vetting process from the council perspective, and then we'll move along in terms of getting our next vacancy filled, hopefully for July, hopefully at our July meeting. That's our goal to do so, where we have our first meeting to kick off for that term. Last but not least, we're going to move now to our public comment section. Again, those who sign up to speak, you'll have 1 minute and a half to speak. So we ask of you to please keep the timing there, and we will move along the list of speakers. If you can just put on the chat. Thank you so much. I'm behind, you know me. I'm doing 10 things. Thank you so much, Tanya. They're on it, and Quentin. So I'll see the list over here. Beautiful. So the first speaker we have here is, and if we could ask someone to help me look for the speakers and unmute them, please, or ask them to, Nikita, do you mind? And you can ask them to unmute. Is Vanessa Sparks, followed by Jean Han, Shernet Walters, Darshini Raghunath, Elizabeth Sober, Bruce Zihal, John Marie Lozada, Ari Feldman, and Elena Amanova. Those who have to speak. So we start off with Vanessa Sparks, and we can ask, let's ask, no, she said no, right? Did you, Sasha, did you want to speak? Did you sign up to speak? Okay. We're going to be asking, Neuron, do you want to do time check today with us? Neuron going to be the timekeeper for a minute and a half. So she will say, beep, beep, time is up when your time is up for speaking. Thank you so much. Vanessa Sparks, go for it.
Good evening, Community Education Council 28. This is Vanessa Sparks, member of Community Board 12, Education Committee. I bring greetings from Education Chairperson Latoya LeGrand and Community Board 12 Chairperson, the Reverend Carlene Thorbs. I just want to thank CEC28 for all of the hard work that you guys have done during this past school year. I'm always very proud of this CEC and the work that it's done. I want to send a special shout outs to Natifa, Simone, Quentin, Adriana. They have worked really closely with Community Board 12. I look forward to our relationship continuing to strengthen in the upcoming school year. Just a couple of things I want to make note. First, happy Juneteenth Day for all of us that will be celebrating Juneteenth this month. Secondly, I want to say congratulations to the following schools: Halsey Junior High School, as well as Middle School 72. Last weekend, the Empower My Hood College Access Program, based out of Southeast Queens, had its annual scholarship gala, where they award 17 scholarships to graduating high school seniors and two middle school students from the Southeast Queens community. And the two middle school recipients were both District 28 students coming from Middle School 72 and Halsey Junior High School. So congratulations. I want to say to the principals and the teachers and even Community Education Council members, please get to know and work with your community boards. There are a lot of issues as it relates to education that have to come before the community boards. And I encourage all of you to get to know them, become true partners with them. And I would like everyone to have a safe and fun and restful summer.
Thank you so much. Neuron, this is your time, but thank you so much, Neuron. You know, you gotta be a little louder. Next is Jean Han, followed by Shernette Walters.
Jean, you're in twice. I'm trying to figure out which one needs to unmute.
Hi, can you hear me?
All right.
Oh, thank you. Okay, I have, hi, everybody. Thanks for the meeting. I have a couple of points to make on the class size for the 24-25 school year. I would like it if the parents could be given a list of the schools that are going to have to undertake more serious measures to conform to the law. All schools are required to meet to be at 40% compliance, which I understand some schools may even have to go remote. It would be helpful if that list could be made public, which schools are considering virtual learning, because parents are applying to schools next year and they need to be, this information needs to be transparent. The second point being, this is the 24-25 school year is not the year that we will feel the most pain. District 28 will feel the most pain in the 25-26 school year, which the admissions process for that begins in the fall. So parents need to be notified, and it needs to be very clear which schools in District 28 and beyond, because some of us are applying to high schools, will be capping their enrollment. And that includes the specialized high schools, the portfolio schools, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Performing arts schools, you know, parents want to know and need to know which schools will be undergoing a more drastic process, which schools will be losing art rooms, music rooms, performing arts rooms, gyms, which ones will be losing sports, AP classes, because it's not just kids that are applying to schools, it's also the kids that are in the schools. How is this being prioritized? This needs to be transparent as possible. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jean Han. Next, we have Sharnette Walters, followed by Darshini Raghunath.
Hello, good evening, everyone, and thank you for the time. My name is Sharnette Walters, and I am the PTA president at Queens Gateway to Health Sciences Secondary School. So here are my 3 points. In listening to the presentation earlier from Superintendent, what the school decides where the C4E monies is spent, is SLT involved? And how do we ensure that principals are involving who needs to be involved to make these decisions that affect our children? Of the 13 schools for the Title I schools with space to implement the class size law today for District 28, from the massive list of 800 plus that are going to take place in September, 5 of them from our district are high schools. At which point will the current enrolled students, if they have no space after they do their assessment of buildings, based on their class size and for future, who will decide where the kids, once they're over the new class size limit, let's say they're taking an AP multi-year program or Spanish, for example, Spanish 203, with the disruption, that will be inevitable? Will the option for remote be their reality? Also, will for any of these 13 schools, such as school as Queens Gateway that has District 75 amongst our population, will we qualify for exemption? And if so, would the schools also be merged? Thank you for your time.
A response from the district team.
So VJ, Ms. Walters, yes. Ms. Walters, I do see that in the chat, Vic had put in that we will be escalating the responses to the questions to the central office. So we will get answers to those questions specific to District 28, because we know that Central can answer citywide, but we want to make sure that we provide answers that are specific to our schools to answer a question similar to the one around remote learning and what that would look like for a school if we were to be in that situation. So just give us a little more time to be able to get those answers from the central office, and we will be sure to get back to you. In response to the other question, I do see that Dragomira is still on, so I want to give you an opportunity to respond to the C4E question.
Yes, thank you. I do encourage all the parents to also submit a comment on the 2 emails that were provided in the presentation. Maybe we could drop them in the email again, in the chat again. It's contracts for excellence at schools. That is for comments specific to the contracts for excellence. And there is class size at schools that is specific to the class size law. The question, I believe, was about who decides the use of C4E funds at the school. The discretionary portion of it is decided by the school, the principals in collaboration with the SLTs. Not sure if that answers the question. That's the short answer. Those are the funds that go directly at the schools and are used at discretion to make sure that the specific needs of the students at the school are met in order to achieve highest academic standards.
Thank you so much. I want to elaborate something really quickly. I think not this year, but as we start next school year, Dr. Hall, Sonia, Vic, and the entire D28 team, what I have seen arise in this past school year is a lot of conflicts between SLT, transparency, and school members. And we have a lot of parent leaders who do a lot of work, right? They are serious about this work that they're doing, and we want to encourage them to continue to be active in the community. But I don't want to see that principals or schools are ignoring parents' requests for transparency or a way to make sure they are being heard or they're just being dismissed. And we don't have to talk about this right now here, but I want to elevate this publicly, that we need to start working a plan of formulate some form of process. How do we ensure that school SLTs, school leadership teams are being transparent to the parents who give the time to sit on these boards, and even the PTAs, right? And I know, Sonia, there's a lot of processes to do this, but let's find a way how we can make sure we are echoing this from the principal leadership perspective down to the PTA level, so it's very clear. We should talk about this more offline and also as we plan for next year. Thank you. Dr. Blake? I think I saw you unmuted. I don't know. Okay. All right, so we go to our next.
No, it's okay.
Go ahead, Dr. Blake. Did you unmute, Dr. Blake?
No, I'm saying no. I'm just listening. It's okay.
Okay, wonderful.
Vijay, can I just add
Next
one
speaker
more?
is Darshini Raghunath.
Hi, good day. Can everybody hear me? I am a concerned parent.
Yes, and Sonia, I'll call you next.
Hi, my name is Darshini Raghunath. I am a concerned parent at PS55. The school that Miss Varun, I think she visited us. If I'm saying your name incorrect, I apologize. She visited our school. She cited many violations. The main one that I'm concerned with is about the funding that we were supposed to have for our students. I believe it was last year or the other year. I'm not sure. We haven't gotten any response. And the reasoning was that they said that our school, we are always in District 28, that our district was moved to 29 in April of this year. We have not gotten any kind of confirmation from anyone. We have reached out to many persons, have not gotten no idea about any of this money, where it's coming, when it's coming. If you go on Adrian Adams' page, the money is there that we got for our school, but we have not gotten it. I have personally emailed her office. I haven't got a response either. If there's anybody on this forum that can come out to our school, see our students, see the violations, the safety issues for our kids, please do. And at the end of your visit, ask yourself if you would like your kids to be in the school that we put our kids in, which is PS55. Thank you.
Thank you, Darshini, and thank you for coming to the CEC and presenting those concerns. Yes, we are committed. We are exactly this is what we do. We advocate for what you're bringing to our attention, and we will definitely do what we have to do. So if you don't mind, can you please send her my direct email, and I will work with you. Darshini, is a chat feature. Our admin will send you my email address. Just connect with me directly there, and I'll work with our school liaison for PS55. And we can make sure we get your concerns discussed. And, thank you for being here to share those concerns. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sonia, I think someone said Sonia wanted to speak. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I didn't see. Okay, I will continue. If you do, Sonia, just let me know. Next, we will continue down the line. We have Elizabeth Suber.
This is the PTA.
Hello, good evening. I am the current PTA president for PS55. I first want to say thank you to Ms. Swapna for coming out and, observing all the issues and violations within our school. And I just want to piggyback off of the violations and concerns, especially regarding the gate, which is a big safety issue, especially for our younger kids. Obviously, we wouldn't want none of our younger children to get out of the gate or have any intruders come in our gate. And the sinkholes, that is also a safety issue. The sinkholes have even prevented us from having outside activities. We can't even host the pre-K celebration, their carnival, outside because of the sinkholes. They have to do everything inside, which isn't fair to them. Also, we have been trying to get speed bumps around our school for years, which is a big concern. A lot of people come through, they think it's a speed raceway. And now with the construction with the Van Wyck, we have a lot of traffic that is detoured by our school. So now there's even more traffic and we have a lot of children in the area. So that is a concern. We obviously wouldn't want any of our children to get hit at all. And also another concern is the lighting around our school. We don't have any. So definitely, I'm hoping that the CEC will be willing to assist us, and I'm hoping to see some change in the upcoming school year, even though I won't be there, but I'm definitely hoping to see the change.
Thank you. Again, we want to tell you thank you for bringing those concerns to us. This is exactly what you're supposed to be doing. So I congratulate you for doing that. We will definitely take this very seriously. Kids need to be safe. And needs to be school environments where they can learn and thrive and have fun too. So we'll definitely make sure we do what we have to do with the community board. Again, my email address was sent in the chat feature there. Definitely email me. I'll work with our CEC liaison and the community board, local elected officials, and of course, the district office to make sure this is resolved as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Go ahead, Bruce.
Good evening, everyone. Does everyone hear me? Because I kind of lost the sound there. Okay. All right. So great to see all of you, as always. And there were a couple of items that were mentioned. A couple of CEC members mentioned some charter school hearings that occurred regarding our district. There have been a flurry of meetings. They have not been properly, in our opinion, properly advertised, as can be evidenced by the attendance at these particular meetings. There have also been some concerns about certain procedures that these charter schools have been following in the process of obtaining possible space within our district, including the fact that they're not saying where they would locate themselves or whether or not they would co-locate themselves in our district or find freestanding space. So I think we need to stay on top of that so we don't wind up flat-footed with some schools coming into our district taking resources away from our community public schools. So we need to keep an eye on that for sure. It's Success Academy and Zeta charter schools that had the meetings. It's unclear even what Success Academy intends to do. One meeting they had, the DOE held, talked about a school being proposed for 2025, 2026. And then just this week, there was a proposal for 2024, 25. And what I want to do, though, is I want to wish everyone a wonderful summer. That's my main objective this evening. Please get some rest. Enjoy the time off. Spend with family and friends. And I want to thank the CEC and all of the parents for volunteering all their time, as they always do, to do this tremendous amount of work that they involve themselves in that's so important for the students within our district. I want to thank the CEC and Dr. Blake and the superintendent's office for collaborating with the UFT on a number of initiatives and projects that have benefited our students. And I really look forward to the upcoming school year for continued collaboration with the CEC and the district office. So again, have a wonderful summer and a great evening.
Thank you, Bruce. And again, thank you for your work. And I want to also, I like to give credit, right? UFT has become a central point of our meetings and a central part of the work that we do here in D28 because of you. Your work and your advocacy and your presence in all these spaces is acknowledged, appreciated, and we thank you for your time and commitment that you bring to the table. Thank you. Thank you, Bruce.
Thanks, BJ.
Next, we have Jean-Marie Lozada.
Hi, thank you. I'm a parent from PS 139, and I do have some concerns that I've reached out to the superintendent about, and I'm disappointed by the lack of follow-up that I have received. The last concern I had was May 14th, the second graders at our school participated in a biography project that was in school, and a student did their biography on former President Trump. And that is not the issue here. The issue is that my son then came home with Vote for Trump flyers. Now, my understanding is that there is no solicitation in school for votes. And my son is 7.5 years old. I don't really care what people's politics are. I'm concerned that, you know, our schools are supposed to be a safe space. And giving out vote for Trump flyers to second graders is not providing a safe space for our students. You know, and I reached out to Dr. Blake about it. Our principal knows about it. There's been no follow-up. There's been no apology. There's been several parents that were concerned by this, and I'm just really disappointed that happened at our school, because we have a very diverse community. And again, people's personal politics don't belong in second grade. The last thing I want to say is that our former PTA president, to my understanding, may have applied to become a member of the CEC district. I personally have spent most of the year being harassed by her. I have also been intimidated by her. I have sent in several grievances to the district about her. I implore you, for the safety of our students and of our district and of our schools, to take into consideration allowing her to be a part of the CEC board. That's my time. Thank you. I hope everybody has a great summer, and I look forward to coming back to the meetings next year.
Thank you so much, Anne Marie. I will reach out to the district office and find out what's going on, but and definitely we'll have a circle back on what you mentioned today at our meeting.
Thank you.
Can you please also take my email address from the chat and email me as well, so we can make sure we are following up with you on what you spoke about. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Next, we have Ari Feldman.
Hi, good evening. I just wanted to put two quick plugs in. One, I think it already went in the chat, but in a couple of weeks, there's going to be a forum in Speaker Adrienne Adams' district. We're hoping to get the speaker there to come for just to talk about what does it mean what does the budget look like? What does it mean that we've had so many cuts to so many social services, things like education, and what does that mean for our children? What does that mean for us? So I wanted to mention that. I also wanted to congratulate Adriana on her selection by the CEC presidents of Queens to become the next member of the Panel for Education Policy, which is the school board for the whole city. So congratulations to Adriana. Another thing, and I cannot remember what it was. It has escaped my brain. Maybe I'll just put it in the chat. Yeah, have a good night, and have a wonderful summer if we don't see you until after then. And thanks again, CEC.
Thank you, Ari. Ari, I've known you for a long time, man. I've seen you forever at the CECs, way since 2019 and back. You've always been present. Good seeing you again. Next, last but not least, I would ask public comment speaker, Elena Aminova. Can we unmute her?
Good evening, everyone. You guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. Last but not least, again, thank you to the CEC for everything that you do. As you guys know, I've been on the CEC for the last 4 years. And tonight, I come with a little bit of mixed feelings, especially speaking right after Ari and what he just said. Last month, we witnessed our chancellor address the Congress about the alarming rise of anti-Semitism in our schools. The chancellor did do a great job, speaking for the city of New York and the district, and acknowledged the gravity of the issue and confirmed in his statement that the phrase "from the river to the sea" is indeed anti-Semitic. And if you did not hear him, his speech and his statements, it's easily available online. His recognition of this issue was a significant step towards addressing the prejudice in our community, and obviously it's unfortunate. Yet it is incomprehensible to me and to the Jewish community at large, and profoundly disappointing that despite this clear stance, we have elected someone to the PEP who was who has openly demonstrated, anti-Semitic views. And this decision is not only disheartening, but also deeply troubling for the values that we stand for. And it is equally disappointing to me that the CCHS, which has always played a pivotal role in our community, considering, I have kids at the high school level and part of the CCHS family at this point, the CCHS is not part and represented in this election. So this submission further undermines the inclusivity and fairness that we strive for in our electoral process. I urge everyone to reflect on these issues and work towards a more transparent and just system for us all. We deserve representatives who truly embody the principles of equality and respect for all, and I truly mean it. Not taking one side or the other, and putting our political views and any prejudice aside to represent all students in this district and at large. And PEP is a big responsibility. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Elena Amanova, and thank you for your service on the CEC for the past 4 years as well. I think member Quentin Mezitin had a comment to make as well.
Well, Ari took it from me, but I just want to congratulate Adriana on her position as PEP representative for Queens. Like, that's a big accomplishment, and District 28 is always doing something great, so just add it to the list. That was all.
And thank you so much. I have to mention this because it does concern D28. So yes, member Adriana Lissier, who has been serving on our council, was one of the candidates for the PEP member. And if there's anyone who is not sure how that process works, please do reach out to me, and I can explain that to you in terms of what was created by the DOE, the transfer regulations, how it is elected, how it's done. But she was one of the 2 people who were nominated to be representatives, and she won the election to serve on the PEP. So she will be moving on to serve as a parent representative for Queens on the PEP, the policy, the panel for education policy for the city, and we will have another vacant seat. So that's another one coming up soon on the council here, and we wish you all well, Adriana, on your next steps.
Thank you.
I also want to thank outgoing member Effie Zachary, who has served diligently for the past 2 cycles. He has served twice as the representative for Queens by the parent body elections, and I want to thank him for his efforts, his work, and when he served with wholeheartedly bringing information, sharing it to all councils, really being a parent voice for all the districts in Queens, in my opinion. Also, for the first time ever, him being on there was when we got emails every month saying, this is when the PEP meeting is happening, here's concerns, and also he'll ask, are there any concerns anyone you want me to raise? So I want to thank Effie for that great work. And listen, I want to say this clearly to all of you, to all council members here. This is free work, free work. So no matter who served, how they serve, when they serve, it was time away from their families. It was time away from the children, time away from dinner tables, and also time while eating dinner with families on a phone, sometimes 2 phones and 2 computers, you're on meetings. So Effie, for the time that you spent doing this, I want to encourage you to there's more times, there's more boards, your heart is in the right place. It's acknowledged, it's known, and please continue to advocate, and also to let you know that your work has not been acknowledged. And thank you for your time. And Latifa Lewis.
So I apologize. It was actually a comment that I meant to make during my member part, but with this small discussion, I also wanted to do so. So first of all, congratulations, Adriana, on your appointment. I also do want to say, and I did communicate that to the board that was responsible for electing the new PEP member, and I did not receive a response. So it's another reason that I want to bring it in this forum, that I do agree with some of the comments that the process was a little bit rushed. As VJ said, you can reach out to him to understand more. But just for clarity, especially based on some of the comments that have been coming up in the chat, prior to last year when Effie was the first one for Queens that was elected as a parent representative, and even prior to that, prior to there even being the short-term election when Tom Shepard was reelected, the mayor had almost exclusive right to select almost all of the members that were on the PEP. So we've almost doubled, or whatever it is, the amount of PEP members. So there's some comments in terms of the number of people who are responsible for voting for the PEP, but the parent representative does represent the CEC councils that are in the borough. There are 6 boroughs, there are 6 councils in the borough, so of course there are going to be 6 votes. So it's not that 6 parents are voting for the entire borough. Is that the 6 parents that we have tasked with that part in consultation with their councils are voting for the part. So from that part, it was fair. What I do have a concern with, and which I did raise also to Central, is that if there is not an issue necessarily with an incumbent or so forth, they should have an opportunity to be at least at the final of their votes. And I felt that Effie was a bit disenfranchised in that part. The result may not have changed, but we've seen it at the superintendent level where districts have had to fight for their person to be on the ballot and so forth. And it's something that I say as a precedent. Elena also mentioned the fact that half of the districts are sometimes disenfranchised because the high school representatives do not have, and we can go into other parts, all of the central ones, the special education, all of those are not on there. So by right, those votes should probably be expanded to at least 10 people representing all of the councils that do have parts in there. But based on what it is, it was done the way it should have been. However, the timing was a little bit off. All that said, I think we have great representatives, and the fact that we may have concerns over who was or who wasn't means that we're actually having a good fight. So congratulations, Adriana. Thank you, Effie. Thank you for all who have otherwise stepped up to this process. I think Queens is in good hands.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Lastly, I think it was PS80 last month. Toshiba Williams, I got your message. Yes, we did act on your request to have our team visit PS80. So one of our members did actively went there, Miss Simone Dornbach, and she did go visit your school, that PS80, and we will be following up with you and also on the next steps, what we have to work on. But yes, we did act on your request. We take it seriously. We do. We work here. We do work. So folks, look, it's been an amazing meeting. Thank you so much. Santifa, your hands are up, by the way. It's been an amazing meeting. I want to thank all the parents for the past year who has came on our platforms, elevate concerns, brought the concerns to us. You elected us to be here. We are proudly serving you, your concerns, and we thank you for always trusting that we will have your back or your backs always in this process. Charlie, I apologize, but we have to move things along. We did have a public comment section ended already, but I'll give you just a little bit of time, okay? Just two minutes, okay? But for the future, okay? We want to thank all of you, to the principals who have done incredible work in this district for the past school year. Dragomir, you and the entire team, we know we harass you a lot about budgets. We want to thank our treasurer, Utah Chen, for doing an amazing job. We want to thank our second vice president, our first vice, Ms. Nuran Swapna, our first vice president, Lu Zhao, and also our recording secretary, Natifa Lewis, and all the other council members. Though we have these little title things, they don't matter. We do the work. We all work together as a team to make sure this council functions effectively and efficiently. Dragomir, is there anything you want to add before we close off, Dragomir?
Not really, just wanted to add, based on going back to the question that was asked about the funds going into schools, there's still limitations on how those could be used, and those limitations come to us from the state. So it's not like you can go and use the C40 to buy just anything. It needs to be within allowable program areas that Dr. Blake went over in his presentation, like time on task, reducing class size, which sometimes is reducing ratios, but looking forward, we have the class size reduction plan. hiring quality teachers, redesign, and I think there was one other program. So there are requirements within the law. I just want to make sure that the parents I'm glad to see everyone is actively asking these questions. I just want to make sure that parents understand there are some limitations, and the principals are subject to those limitations. That's all.
Thank you so much, Carmen, for your work and all. You know, we call you a lot, but you keep us in check, and we need more money for the CEC. I want to say that publicly. We need more than $25,000. We want to do more things. I'll take that back, please. Charlene, please go for it. I'll give you a short time, please, because we are at the end.
Yes, my apologies. I just wanted to get clarity around who supports families as they transition from early intervention into CPSE for District 28.
Can you repeat the question, and then I'll have one of the district team members respond.
I had a question around who supports families as they transition from early intervention into CPSE under District 28.
So I'm going to put, Charlene, I'm going to put my email address in the chat. And then we're going to make sure that we connect you with a person from our team. One of those people is our AZ, Stacy Palmer. And I'm going to connect you with her, but I'll put my email address in the chat so you can reach out to me.
Thank you so much. That's all.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for keeping it short, Charlie. Last but not least, a lot of parents got school decisions for their children, high schools, middle schools, middle schools. They're concerned about where their kids are going, which schools they're going, and there are so many concerns that we have. CEC does not determine that. Okay, I want to be sure. Also, too, the district office does not determine that. Those are things that is that are determined by, you know, central office. Now, when you call us, the CEC, and you tell us that you want your child to go to the same school your son or daughter is going, we're going to redirect you to the Welcome Center in D28, depending if they're in high school or middle school. And we'll advocate for you in that level to make sure that you are being heard. We can't guarantee, or we don't have any power to make sure your child go to the school that you desire. Our council members, they will try their best to advocate for you, but they don't have the power to do that as well. Next month meeting, July meeting, is our elections on the CEC. We have to re-elect the board of executive members on the CEC, which is the president, first vice president, second vice president, recording secretary, treasurer on the council. That happens every year, but these members are still serving for a 2-year term, which will end next year. So with that being said, I want to thank all of you for your support, your commitment to the council, and also the district. Dr. Blake, to you and your team, thank you. Dr. Hall, thank you. To all of you who do an amazing job there supporting our district. We feel heard, we feel connected, we feel supported, Sonia. Well, you have been a rock star always, and we thank you so much for the great work that you're doing. And to Vic, who has been phenomenal in really pulling all this together, we thank you all for doing a great job. And we are one district, like an example for the whole city. Dragomir, just so you know, we are the best district in the whole city. Just so you know that. We are the great 28, but we still need more funding for the CEC. Everyone, good night. Thank you so much. We are going to have our business meeting right after. So, Dr. Benoit, yes, you too. Right after we have our business meeting.
Dr. Benoit has an announcement. Sorry, President.
Go ahead.
Dr. Benoit? Oh, okay.
I'm here. I apologize. Thank you so much. I wanted to, on behalf of the, district team and Dr. Blake, thank everyone, especially, UVJ and the CEC for offering this, platform for all of us stakeholders who care about, live in, work in District 28, to come here and share our concerns, our questions, our suggestions, our love for the great 28. Before we wrap up, I know everybody has had a long night. I wanted to take the opportunity to share our Big Apple winner. We were well represented this year. We tripled the numbers of semifinalists we were able to send in, and I wanted to share and celebrate them here with everyone. So we had 6 semifinalists. Aziza Adams from PS48, Deborah Robinson from PS206, Janet Geyer from PS101, Jennifer Rivera from MS217, Stacy Hellman from PS196, and Yorlina Almonte from PS139. Those were our semifinalists. We also had 2 finalists, Aaron Lober from MS157 and Christine Tobiah. I'm gonna butcher her name, I apologize. Zajlik. Thank you, from PS121. And then our winner comes from MS72, and it is Miss Tara Cannon. And we congratulate all of them because they've truly represented District 28 in such a wonderful way. They are such wonderful and committed and creative educators, and we are all so blessed to have them be here, where they could work anywhere in the city, but be here educating, supporting our scholars. So thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Let's give them a raise. Yes, let's do that. Let's give them a raise. I think we should give 2 weeks off and an extra pay. You know, thank you so much, Dr. Benoit. Thank you so much. We appreciate you saying thank you to us for the work that we do. Together, we're in this, right? We're in this together. So thank you all. Council members, we have 5 minutes break, then we continue our business meeting. Everyone else who is on board, please, if you want to attend our business meeting next, you are welcome to stay on. You can listen, but you can't speak. I want to thank Mohammed Q. Amin from the Caribbean Quality Project for visiting our council, presenting. Great resource. We will have you more often here, and we would love to hear more next time you come by and how can we support children in our schools, and we'd love to have you go around for career day in our schools and share about how can family handle children coming out or who are questioning or these kind of concerns. I think you'll be a great resource for that. Thank you for your work, sir. Thank you all. Have a good night. You can all unmute at this time. Those who want to stay back, please stay back for our business meeting if you wish to do so. I have asked you all to unmute and say good night.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you. Enjoy the summer.
Summer 2020, June 6, 2024. This is a business meeting for CEC28. At this point in time, I'm going to call this meeting into session. I'm going to ask our recording secretary to please do a roll call for the business meeting.
President Vijay Ramjatan.
Here.
First Vice President Luzal.
Here.
Second Vice President Nurun Swapna. Here. Recording Secretary Natifa Lewis. I'm here. Treasurer Utah Chen. Member Julissa.
Look at me quickly following quickly too.
Julie's there. Member Quentin Meziton. Member Simone Dornbach. Member here. Member Italianarum, he's excused. Member Tanya Wentz.
Quentin's like, I'm gonna grab those snacks first before I go back to my seat. And Utah, I saw you too. Okay, great. We have fun too. This is our little party. Folks, so this is our last business meeting for this year. So we're gonna be can we mute Sharinda, can we please close the chat feature and all the reaction opportunities on the thing as the council deliberates? We have a few things. First thing is I want to get through the one thing that's really due. Can we do the superintendent's evaluation, please? Latifa, so I had asked Latifa to kindly start the process with this, where she will fill it out, and I think she did an amazing job, but please, it has to be shared by all of you. We can review that, what she did already, and we can approve, agree, or make suggestions today and complete it today.
Do I need to share that or not?
I think you should share it, but I think it was shared via email. So can everyone go to their emails, please?
Right. No, so I'm saying I'm not sharing it on screen.
No.
So I did I did share I don't believe so. I did share the parts with you, and just in terms of a summary, and as we've said, Dr. Blake has hit the ground running coming into the council, so we haven't had any issues in terms of it. He's filling big shoes, and when you're filling big shoes, and you're able to live up to the job, that's that in itself is a commendation. So based on the document that was shared with you, does any member have anything that they would like to add, query, comment, or so forth?
I support your write-up, and I think it's all spot on, and I think your descriptions of the different parts echoed my sentiments.
Second. All right, so if that is fine, then I'll just reshare. I made one change at the bottom. Okay, roll call. For any comments or if you agree with it as provided. So first Vice President Luzao.
Yeah, I agree with
Okay, second Vice President Nurun Swapna.
I agree with it.
Treasurer Yutao Chang.
I agree.
Well, I created it, so I agree. Member Adriana Alicia. A member Simone Dunbar.
Agree.
Member Tanya Went. Member Julissa.
There you
I
go.
know she's Member Julissa, did you have a chance to look at the document for the superintendent evaluation?
Okay,
I'm not sure. She might have.
It's okay.
Member Quentin Mezzatine? No, I know she was writing
Yeah.
in the chat before.
Totally agree.
I think I got everyone.
Tanya.
I got Tanya. President Vijay Ramjatan.
I agree. And recording member, Secretary
Nothing
Lewis?
Lewis. Yes, I agree.
Okay, so,
Okay.
okay, so now what we have to do is, submit the evaluation to new council members. Every year, the council does an evaluation of the superintendent, and we submit that to FACE for their review. That's what this is. And we're gonna submit that to FACE on behalf of the council for our review. So thank you so much, Natisha Lewis, for taking the lead on that. I appreciate that work. And maybe next year we'll call on someone else to really take the, and the idea is to share the responsibility, right? So you get experience doing this kind of work together as a team. So thank you so much for doing that. Good. You have the absence forms ready?
Yeah.
Okay, absence forms.
So today we we have two forms, and one from GK because he is attending a conference and cannot attend.
Can you send on Gmail?
Either in person or remotely. So I moved the notion to recuse GK's attendance today.
Roll call, please.
First Vice President Luzao.
Excuse or not excuse?
Yes.
Excuse?
Excuse. Second Vice President Nurun Swapna.
Excuse.
Treasurer Yutao Chang.
Excuse.
Recording Secretary Natifa Lewis. Excuse. Member Julissa.
Absent. Excused.
She's there. She's writing in the chat. Yes.
I'm sorry, Julie. There you go.
Member Quentin Mezzatine.
Excuse.
Member Simone Dunbar.
Excuse.
Member Adriana Alicia. Member GK Kalyanara. Oh, he's not here. He's the person. Member, well, he is not here. Member Tanya Went.
Excuse.
Okay, and President Vijay Ramjatan.
Excused. Thank you. Any other absence forms?
Your last one? Right, okay. So for Natifa's, you attended the virtual, right?
Not significant.
Well, you were.
I was there for the initial one.
Yeah, I think you were present, man. I don't think you were excused. I don't think you were absent because you.
Okay.
Okay.
I see. Okay. So Natifa was absent last meeting for personal activities, and we moved to excuse.
I'll do the roll call for her. President VJ, I excuse. Luzao, excuse. Nura Swapner,
Excuse.
Yutao Chen,
Excused.
Julie. She's chatting, right? Can someone confirm she's okay? Quentin Mezitin,
Excused.
Simone Dombrach,
Excuse.
Adriana Lissier, GK Kayanaram, he is excused, absent, and Tanya Wen.
Excused.
Thank you.
Okay, one more is Julie's today is attending virtually. And
She's not well. Not feeling well.
yeah, so it's already submitted the form, so let's do roll call for
Okay, okay, first Vice President, Luzao.
excuse.
Second Vice President, Nurin Swapna.
Excuse.
Treasurer Yutao Chen.
Excused.
Member Natif, Recording Secretary Natifa Lewis. Excuse. Sorry, it's a salad. It's a salad. Member Quentin Mezitin. Member Simone Normad. Member Adriana Alicia. Member Tanya Wentz. Member Julissa.
I'll just say excuse too for me.
And President Vijay Ramjat.
Excuse.
I was waiting for me to answer.
Oh, this we're done. Can we have the minutes up, please? Julie said, was that for me? Yes. You're not excused, Julie. We didn't miss you. Got a wrap here for you. So the minutes were shared to everyone for your viewing pleasure.
Second.
At this point in time, I move to approve the minutes. Do I hear a second somewhere?
Second.
Third, fourth, fifth. Thank you so much. We will move to, and again, I want to echo and say thank you to Dorinda, to Recording Secretary Natifa, and all of you who give feedback for the minutes. Thank you for doing that. We are always on top of that, and it's very important that we have it on our website, and it's there. Also, want to make mention really quickly that our resolutions, we did receive responses from FACE for our resolutions, and those resolutions and their responses are on our website, which is good. We advocated for that, right? In the past, we never got responses, so now we begin responses, which is great. So it's up there for your viewing pleasure, and also share in the community if you wish to do so. Next thing we'll do is talk about really quickly is the recap. I'm going to give everyone a minute and a half, please, just to say what you felt about the breakfast, what we did well, what can we improve on, what do we, you know, like, that's your general feedback. So I'm gonna do it backwards. Tanya, when?
Yeah, I thought it was like great that it was so well attended. It did get a little bit crowded, right? We didn't have enough space for everyone, so maybe a bigger venue or something else, because we really wanted to invite a lot of people, which was great. I think the other thing that was difficult is that I think some of the council members spent a lot of time like doing council member stuff, like in the front table and doing other things. And then I didn't get a lot of time to like walk around and talk to people at the end of the day. It was like, oh darn, I didn't actually get a chance to really socialize as much as I wanted. I invited somebody and I wanted to introduce them to some other people, and I didn't even get a chance to because we just ended up being so busy, and then the program, it started. And it was a bit long, like we went over, and maybe that was always the plan. Maybe you already knew, but I think some people, they had a little bit of time to come, especially the people that we invited. It was a day when there were state tests being taken at elementary school levels for sure. And some principals were like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna leave. I'm just gonna show my face and I'm gonna go. They said they did this last year as well. So we have to be, I think, a little bit more careful next year and not pick a day which the principals will want to be at their schools.
Makes sense.
So yeah,
so during the week, we can probably make we balance two things. We balance the state calendar with the elected officials, the city calendar, the Albany calendar, and also the DOE calendar. So let's make a big note about that next year, what we'll do, right? Adriana, thanks for the balloons. They were wonderful.
Oh, you're very welcome.
I love the floor piece. I loved it on the floor.
I thought we had a great time. I enjoyed all of the presentations, and I'm really, really glad that we got to hear from our principals this year. The choice of those three also dynamic, amazing.
not just saying that because Angela Tiffin was there, promise. I really also enjoyed that we had a number of our elected officials who were also there last year with us, so it really felt like coming back, moving in like a circular forward way. It was great, and I agree with Tanya. I think next year we need a bigger space because people were just standing the whole time because they didn't want to leave because it was compelling, it was interesting, this is information
For sure.
that we had gathered all year long. So bigger space next year and double the balloons.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you. Simone Dornbach.
I thought it was really great, and I think we can say proudly that every year it's getting bigger and better. I thought the space was better. Just everything. I love that we had the high school students catering. I thought that was really great. I guess what I was thinking while we were there, we as a CEC could use that time also better to advocate for things that are coming up that are brought up either by parents or that we know about issues that are being brought up, like the class size law. I mean, it is kind of difficult because we're not 100% aligned, but I think what we're all interested in is like getting the best for our children. And I think if we keep that in mind, we can come up with something where we can all align on next time. But otherwise, I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it. Mm-hmm.
Quentin Mezzatine.
Yes, seconding the thing. I definitely did not expect to be there that long. So it kind of threw off my schedule because I planned. So I kind of like kept adjusting my plans. So I had a great time, but I would love to be more on time. If we know we're gonna be there till 1, then I'll plan accordingly. So if we could just structure our speakers, like I even saw you with the sign trying to tell some people to shut up. You weren't listening. And you didn't say shut up. You were just like, but they weren't really getting it. So if we could kind of just, make sure, like, and then I guess make those adjustments if we see that we're running out of time. A lot of people started to leave towards the end because people had to pick up their kids. These were teachers and principals that had to go address their schools. So I actually knew a couple of people that left because they were like, I didn't think it was going to go this long. So I felt that part. Other than that, it was great, a lot of space. And I don't know how our budget works, but I know GK and well, first I paid for the photographer and then GK kind of said, hey, I'll go half with you. But it was more like, if that's something that we're going to do, that's okay. Cause I think the pictures came out good. And I was really glad to like capture some of those moments outside of a cell phone. But if it's something that we could talk about in our budget and just implement it, that'd be cool. But if it's not, if it's too much, then I guess me and GK and anybody else that wants to join us, we could just kind of contribute because, those photographers are not free.
Thank you. Thank you, Quentin. Julie, I know you, if you have feedback on Julie said something right now. She said, I don't know what to expect and it exceeded my expectations. Oh, thank you. Recognition of my favorite thing. Let's see, I can't read the whole thing. Can someone read it, please? Favorite thing to do for people, but 100% with Quentin. Wish we could be more respectful of time and stick to agenda timelines as best we can. I was bummed I had to leave for work. Yeah, we missed you. Yeah, for real, we did. That picture, I'm gonna put you in there. Thank you, Julie, for your part. Utah.
Yeah, just for the first time joiner or the participant for the event, I thought it's really exciting and also a little bit overwhelming in the sense that, we were at the door to greet people and sometimes like you had no idea who we're talking to and we didn't get a chance to do a lot of socializing as Tanya was mentioning earlier, but I feel like the opportunity itself is a great forum or place for us to recognize each other, to know our liaisons, to know our legislators and voice of concerns. I did have an opportunity to ask some questions that I really care about. I think that was great. And I think going forward, a little bit planning and a little bit more respectful of the people's time would be great. And I am looking forward to the next time.
Thank you, sir. Latifah Lewis.
So I think it was great. Haven't been able to be at the 3 we've had. What I think is amazing is that each one has been different. Venue was different. Initial feel was different. I believe we had the chancellor at the first one, but not at these other, but we've had the borough president, we've had we've been able to collaborate with different people in different spaces, and we've actually did a nice triangle of Queens, because we started in the middle, we went very north, and we came south. You know, space is a hard thing to find, because we dependent on trying to get a free space, because we definitely cannot do that with the budget. But I think it was also good that, you know, York, for example, welcomed us in such a nice way. Last time Queens College welcomed us. Before that, we depended on VJ's connections to you know, so in each case, I think it has been good, because my school, you know, I've been kind of advocating to them to do it before, and I think they kind of were like, I don't know. But my daughters went on a trip to York College last week. Wow. And I believe that Principal Harold cemented it at our breakfast. Nice. So I think more importantly, sometimes than the where and all the logistics, is this kind of collaboration that we've been able to allow some of the community to do, because they're in those spaces with those people. In terms of the time, I'm pretty sure somewhere in the chat, I did tell you guys 1 o'clock was a good estimate. So y'all don't like to listen to me on time, but you know, so I you know, it's become more of a brunch, and I think that's, you know, it's a fair time. It's kind of hard, especially when people are saying things that are needed, that are passionate about, to like really put them down. So, you know, maybe sometimes just in terms of the expectation. I think once expectations are there, it's not a problem. But otherwise, I think it was a great event. I do feel what like Utah and so forth were saying, and I was glad I was not at the door, because you tend to miss a little bit. And we ended up being pretty much right at the front, because we ended up getting the extra tables. But you know, I always enjoyed breakfasts, and I'm happy that we were one of the first, because CCHS patterned theirs after hours. And I think even CEC26 recently had one. I couldn't attend, but you know, we have that little pat on our back. So thank you guys.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And your national anthem. Oh my gosh. The feedback.
Thank
you. Broadway. She don't know I'm putting in the universe, Broadway. She's saying off Broadway. I'm like, don't say that. Broadway. You're going to Broadway. Okay. Neuron Schwab now.
Oh, so it was my first time in an event like that, like a room full of people that cultivate kids' growth, and I was very happy to be in that space. Yeah, I would say it was a little crowded, but I liked it. I felt like, you know, we were there for a common goal, and some of the speech that the principal Petrogo, it really touched me, and everyone else that spoke, like, you know, some of the like things they said, I felt very, you know, I was happy to be in that space. And the pastry was really good. I think the high school kids did a good job. Excellent. Yeah, they did.
I did not eat.
Yeah, it was very tasty, and I think it was a good event. So, and I didn't know that we had to pay for the photography. I was Oh, I didn't know that. So I didn't know.
Thank you.
Yeah, but yeah, thank you.
Lucia.
Yeah, I think everybody said, you know, pretty much the same. Quickly, one thing is, I really appreciate that we give the high school kids, you know, the what do you call the food and finance. I give them a chance to show themselves, not just throw them, but, you know, like top them. I didn't attend this year's city lecture, but last year's they didn't have a chance to talk. But that's very good. I do think I may be mistaken, right? I was at the door doing reception and everything, so I just landed here. Or I do think the quiz, your college, of course, we're using their space, they should give a speech. They take a little bit longer than I thought, like all the team up and something. So that part, I think we probably, should negotiate a little bit better. Especially those are kind of, like prime time, right? In the front. So we want, more to the teachers, the principal, the district. Right? Focus on the district. And at the end, because a lot of people left, and when we give the work to the teachers, it was a little bit awkward because half empty room already.
Yeah.
So that part, I think we need to prioritize a little bit better. Move those things to the front. Yeah. That's what.
Thank you. That's great. Dorinda, you did a lot of work behind the scenes for this, and if the council members agree, if it's okay to have her speak. If it's okay to have her speak for 2 minutes, anyone not agree to this? Speak. Dorinda, they agreed. What are your thoughts? Let me say first, thank you. Thank you on behalf of the council members for all the hard work behind the scenes. I know I've been calling you every day about that stuff. This person. And the high school students was Dorinda's idea actually to have them come, and I supported them.
I got the idea from CCHS.
So what are your thoughts? Go ahead.
My thoughts from, as Nativa said, just witnessing the first one to this one, I think it just exceeds every single year. I enjoyed everything about it. I love that we picked York because of the vicinity for everyone, transportation wise. Our high school, we're affiliated with the school and the college. Parking lot. Our budget doesn't cover for a space. We can't pay for it, so we're thankful to get it free. And as you know, the parking lot isn't free, but it was a bonus. So I really love that we did it there. And everything came together so well. I think I loved everything about it. The first one, of course, was the best. Well, I think York, but the first we had a hall. How can you beat a hall?
Banquet hall.
So banquet hall. So, and the chancellor was there, but I loved everything about it.
Dorinda, thank you so much.
Of course.
I want to thank all of you for really doing a wonderful job, and really, this is a team effort. It really takes all of us, and no matter how much experience each of us have, we can't do it alone. And I think I want to thank all of you who came by the door and stayed at the door, Lou and Utah and whoever was at the door greeting people. That's a heavy lift, but you stayed there, and I appreciate that. To Adriana for doing the balloons and decorations, and I think no matter what we did, like it came together nice. It flowed nicely. And I love when it's overcrowded because that means that something good's happening here. Like, they all showed up. I'm like, wow, all community boards showed up, the precincts showed up. I mean, everyone came. It sends a message that what we're doing here, it validates what the work that we're doing here. But also too, when we had the first one and the idea, when I came with the idea for this breakfast, it was to build and have a space where we could all just have a light moment and talk about heavy stuff. And that's what we do. And no one was upset when we could really move things forward, right? York was especially happy that they're like, whoa, you all bring the people, right? Mr. Madden was wonderful to work with over there. He was just phenomenal. Even at Queens College, they were great. There is a larger hall that I could think of, and we can move to the southern part of the district next year, Rosedale. It's not Rosedale, Rochdale Center. Rochdale Ballroom is a nice, huge space, beautiful, really nice space. We could think about that space next year. Just move it around and give transparency and equity, right? Right behind MS-72. Yeah, it's in those buildings there. It's a very nice space. They got a nice parking lot there also too, with the key food and everything right there. But yeah, hey, but the idea is this: like, we as a council, we work well together, and we'll have new council members all the time. You can joining in, but it's just culture of yes, we can. If we just CEC28, right? Yes, we can. We're going to do this, and we can do it together as a team. And I want to thank you all for supporting this initiative and really showing up and being present. Julie, you were there for the whole thing. Thank you. I know job was an issue with you coming in with the scheduling, but you made it happen. And GK was very happy to be there. You saw him. GK was like, yeah. He's like, wow, really? All these people? Quentin called me the night before and was like, VJ, do we have a photographer? I'm like, boy, we don't have the budget for that. He's like, what if I get one? Can he come? I'm like, well, who's gonna pay for him? But if you want to go for it. Sure enough, I saw a photographer there. Quentin, you on it. But I think we have to think about that too. Let's fight. Let's fight. Let's advocate with face. So we should include that. That's part of our legacy, because we should be able to show the work on our website. It's not for me or for you. This just goes on our website to show what we have done and we leave a mark for the future that we can build on. So I think we have to write a nice, good resolution for face to say yes. Why can't we hire a photographer? Right? Or they can provide one. Hey, that's that, right? So that's good. Two things I want to talk about that, right? So it don't make sense doing a breakfast every year. Then it loses its prime importance. Then what would we talk about next year? So what we should do is every school cycle, every CEC council cycle, which is a 2-year cycle, for the first cycle we had here, we'll have a breakfast. Next year, at the end of your cycle, our cycle, then we have the end of year school celebration, where we celebrate your work, but also do the whole, in that one now, we invite the entire district. There's no this person or that person, there's no limitation. And that happens at a high school or a middle school auditorium. There's food and it entire district. But we can do both every year, budget-wise too, and do it in the level that we do. Do you all agree with that? Right? So that's what my suggestion to the council is, that we focus on one thing at a time and do it really well. So we did a great breakfast. So then next year, for the end of year school year, it's going to be planning for the end of year school celebration. And that one, we'll look at the schools that have maybe like 5 schools perform from across the district. They bring the students, they perform, and then we invite the entire district. So the budget has to be better in terms of money to cater for the entire district. Did a great job last year. Panera Bread from last year was great. I mean, the smoke came in, and we had a lot of food left, a lot of juice left. But we did what we had to do. Okay, so we're moving forward with that. Face survey. This is the last thing. Let's get it done, and we're out for the day. Thank you. My Gmail? Thank you. I don't have it up here. You want to share it on your screen? Can you? Do I? So the face survey asks the presidents of each council to fill out a survey about face. I don't want to do it alone. I would like to get your feedback. Also, council members, it's like 5, 6 questions, but I figure we can just, for me. Thank you. So I would like to get your feedback to do that before I submit that. Excuse me. I'm just going to open it up very quickly. No. Okay, it's coming through, I guess. Through my Gmail, right? Dorinda. It's loading up here. CC Facebook. Here it is. Okay. I can share my screen here. Link to survey. Here it is. Okay, let me share my screen. Here it is. Okay, everyone see this? Yeah. There it is. Okay, so my email address. I'll put my CC and D28 CEC at gmail.com. Okay, this is easy. Anyone knows the answer for this? 328. Thank you, Neuron. Does your face specialist check in with your council? Often, occasionally, rarely, not at all, other. The new girl, right? Lalita. Yeah. So I don't think there's like a personal person.
Not at all.
So BB used to be our direct person. BB got promoted to director of governance with Face. So they don't have this whole thing like during the pandemic where we had check it. Now, what I do want to say, why I would lean to more often is no matter who we reach out to in Face, we get a response. And compared to other councils, I've heard that, right? They don't get, but no matter who I reach out to, if we have a concern, or if we ask Dorinda to escalate something, if you all have a question, we get a response the day off or within the next 2 days. So I feel like, and if we ever wanted them to come, they can come if they wanted to, but that's not how they operate anymore.
But it's not about the check-in. Exactly. She's checking in with us. Checking in with us. And she is not checking in with us. So I would rather do other. When we reach out, she always responds.
So that does your Facebook check in with your council.
Share like information when it's coming, but that's what I'm saying. It has come from different people because.
So let's see the other question, and maybe we'll come back to that question. Maybe it covers the other way. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. How useful are the check-ins? We don't have check-ins anymore, right? What would make?
Having them. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it says as we come to the end of 2024. Is that the correct one?
Yeah, that's which one? No, this is here.
That is this year.
It's not applicable to us because we're in transition between a person.
No.
They've just changed.
They change how they function.
Yeah,
But I don't think they've changed the
So for those who don't know, during the pandemic, they came up with something where you would have bi-weekly. It was check-ins with our face liaison for a half hour. I think it was wonderful. It was. We had a session. So that is what they're referring to. So but okay.
Like every Wednesday evening.
Okay, let's go to the next question. I'm just moving things along. It says, how would you rate FACE's guidance on council responsibilities? Example, OML, Robert's Rules of Order, regulations, roles, and responsibilities.
Yeah, 4. Specifically for this year, I would say 3 because there's been some confusion.
I'll go with the lowest.
It's been a lot.
The lowest that we're going.
All who said 3, yes. Raise your hand. 1, 2. Blue hands or foot? 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's the majority.
In
3.
In my defense,
Yeah.
we were spoiled because we had 5. So when we are trying to get what our new normal is, and for honest feedback, it isn't.
Rate the other training topics offered this past year. City Committee for Human Rights, Ramapo, am I saying that correctly? Ramapo? New York State School Board, etc. Was it useful, not useful? I think the human rights one was amazing. And also to the last one that did recently, Quentin, that we attended. The one that they did recently, equality thing, that was really the bias thing. That was really helpful. A 4 is good. Is a 4? Okay. 4?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I heard yes. So 4. Okay. List other training topics that you would like us to explore. Anyone? Budget. Budgets. Anything else? Anyone? Anything else?
We've been having more things with stuff like those hearings and stuff like that. So I don't know what to put that.
Law. Chancellor's law.
It's not so much the law.
Regulations.
Chancellor regulation. That's the constitution for her CEC.
No, but it's more
Guidance.
yeah, guidance. I guess.
So CEC guidance.
Yeah, guidance.
Yeah.
During
I think I'm talking more about like the fact that we've had these co-location hearings and whatever. So not so much the law, but in terms of.
Can you unmute your thing so we could, it's recorded, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm saying more in terms of, yes. So I guess guidance is the biggest part, just how to address these things, who to reach out to, how to get more momentum for these things that are sometimes put on us at the last
Does
minute.
the word CEC guidance capture that, or will we add something?
Yeah, I guess that's
anything else, anyone?
Yeah, if you could just throw in something for D75.
Yeah, please.
Right.
Anything.
D75
and IEPs.
Yeah, guidance.
Explain to us how.
D75, not D5.
How the high school, not the high school process, but how like
IEP.
Those schools of us that have 6 through 12. They are under different jurisdictions, and I'm slowly figuring it out, but I would like to have some clarity, which schools are under which jurisdiction, how does it work, so that we can do better work. because not all of the schools that are located in our district fall under our superintendency.
And none of the 6 to 12 fall under our superintendents, but from 6 to 8. And I think like my school, for example, a lot of it comes down to the relationships that the principal think. They report hierarchy wise to the superintendent, the high school superintendent that is for that school. However, because 6 to 8, you know, and all of those are under there collaborating with the office, you know, like my school has submitted or their requests and things like that, and you know, would reach out, would show up for stuff. So it just becomes a relationship, but just knowing that the primary, like if there comes down to a choice of who's responsible, they will go to the high school superintendent, whether that is Dr. Van Ness or it's another superintendent based on the type of high school that they are.
I put for the first topic there, I put other. I put down, we no longer have check-ins and phase is responsive.
You missing the S, yeah.
To our concerns. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, and next one, how useful check-ins doesn't apply. I mean, it doesn't apply, but I put,
So just 3.
in terms of the last time, it was a 3.
I mean, no, it
sure
was
they were
more.
great.
It was more, but since this is for last year and we don't really have them. When we do,
like if they were to look at our thing and say they never had check-ins, but they liked it a lot because it was very helpful. So we put a 5 here to say yes, we like check-ins. Pass, or you like a 4. How about what would you make? What would make check-ins more useful? Maybe having them.
Sorry. Yeah, but I personally think the check really the check because my report.
Sorry, sorry, but it's also Lou. Because sorry, also Lou. Yeah.
So I think the when we I feel like not only our time. You think about it, it's budget. So basically, you are saying, okay, someone's class have to take, you know, every week, month, whatever, right? So those are the budgets that have to be allocated for that Chinese problem. I mean, during the pandemic, there's a lot of people coming in, you know, from federal, you know, they're super rich. Now we have to consider, you know, like small things like that, you know, could end up taking resource from.
So what is your suggestion?
I think just, you know, like for the world
I was just gonna say with the check-ins, the last few times I coordinated check-ins with BB,
No one showed up.
don't show up, they don't have time, they're at work, so 3 people, and if I know you've checked, you call in from your phone, one you have to leave, like, you know, you have to take.
They try to.
I'm sorry, are we going to treat this like the officer that we're in this mentioned? You mentioned that maybe.
That's the problem, man.
I'd rather
If that is that.
I don't know. You say that I didn't remember it. And it's like.
But it's not clear.
No.
So can we put like what would make check-ins more useful? Clarity on what check-ins are now.
Yes, sure. Yeah.
What CHEC time looks like currently post-pandemic.
And because it's also doing more spread, like with the district office, we're kind of clear. Talk to Victor these things, talk about the hall for this, talk about the Benoit for this.
It's been great to have that.
But the case right now, so like when Victor has the second, we're gonna get the information for like what you're looking for, you get it from this other person, so we're not as in tune with who is who in the team. So it's harder, so I think maybe it's clarity in terms of big roles, of interdepartmental roles.
So clear, clear instructions notification of who.
Our road district was, yeah. The current road restrictions, yeah. Because it's like a moment for oh wait, are we talking about the jackets where before we knew
Yeah.
and you have to look.
Are we done now? Okay, here.
Okay.
Rage faces overall CC support. I think they're okay. I think.
Yeah,
Or it's good.
that's fine, yeah.
Because yes, for or for the support, the technical support, yes, but when
Just overall.
but when there is conflict, when we're being attacked, there is absolutely nothing. There's a follow-up, there's a check-in, there's absolutely nothing. We're doing this on our free time. And they really couldn't care less of how we're doing. And then they have their stupid little meetings. Everybody is the very same people happening. Me are going to be meeting and that's it's like no.
Remember this is this is our, but this is for our district, and I'm saying, have you personally had that situation? Because I'm saying there.
She has, and I'm not gonna
on the street, people have yelled. Oh, and you've had that where everybody got a shot. Everything personally.
Aware of the fact that I was accosted on the street with my son. Was made aware. Did they do anything about it?
What could they do?
What could they do? They could
answer the phone, make a phone call.
say, I'm so sorry that happened to you. We're gonna have a conversation to figure out how we can save our
council members in the future.
Below, hey, anything.
Okay, so 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
2.
Anyone?
You say 3. You can take the average. 2.3.
Let's leave it at 3. It's fine.
Maybe saying for the ones, if the people who have been most impacted by that feel that it's substandard, then it needs to be a 2. Because I'm saying, like, I haven't had that personal experience. The one thing is I don't have my ID, although I reached out to multiple times. Right? Right. So from that perspective, I would say, it's not a criticism on the office, but the fact that we need to support us, and then the support needs help. Be accurate, not nice in the rating.
She got one.
Is more useful than not. I have a lot of housekeeping, and I would walk, and then
People like talk to me, like, you know,
cars. Usually, like, what's going on? Like all random people, like they would have, like in my block, you know, like in a day would be like 10, 15 cars. They would like go past that, and they're male, or like young woman.
Because
They would hug and say, hey. And I'm like, I love you.
you sure that's CEC?
I think that could be good because they see
It could just be them being guys.
it's not that. It's like people in nice cars. Some people are not in nice cars. No, you could tell. The whole thing was
scary.
Fix this. I was scared.
You're popular, that's what happens. You know, okay,
You need
but
to get
that's
pepper.
funny.
Put some pepper spray on that.
Having negative.
No one honked at me, but it's okay.
Not yet. Yeah.
He's in my area. Okay. I put down here, improve communication with CC members and requests. I would like to discuss the transfer person as well. I would love to elevate what you said. Did you know? Did you hear that? No, like if I can write them all here, I would prefer that executive members felt this way, and this is why we give it to. You know, I think it can capture that. And they should know why we give 2 or 3 or 1, whatever.
Yeah.
Everyone okay with that? Oh, sorry?
Yeah, bring that back down.
Clarity, I think when they sent out certain notifications, they either came late or they called the wrong person.
Yeah.
Called me and said, hey, no,
Yeah.
It's messed up.
let the other person know. Like, okay.
What? It's messed up.
You should let them do that.
You have to call the other person. It's not I need somebody to call.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
If I
transfer the information wrong. Exactly.
Okay. Can I submit?
Yep.
Yes.
Just do it. Scared, one, scared, this scared, then so scared. What is that? No, that's
You're good with 3. You're good with 3.
Yes, this already.
3's good. 3's good. Don't do it.
Anyone else?
You're good. You're good.
Too much. Yay!
That last one.
Hey, folks, time. Wait, hold on.
Oh my goodness.
Seats, for vacant seats.
Vacant seat. So because we never mentioned on a public platform like this, it just occurred to me like we never did that. We closed it off.
Yeah.
Right, so let's maybe it's 4 weeks. We have 3 applicants already, but just in case someone's a knife store and they have 1 more week to apply, then I would like to make sure can we have a committee of 3 people to go over the applications, and then we can do 2 things. We can either do a thing where we create a Google form. All of us have access to the Google form. We all look at the form and we give our numbers, our votes on what we think that person is. Can you and I talk about that? Do you all trust Friday and myself will do that first process with the applications, and then we'll send a link to you all. Note this. We would love to have the next seat filled by July. So if we don't, can we agree? If we don't hear your response, no one's calling to remind you. So we're all busy. Like an email will go out, check your email, chat, put down, hey folks, here's the link. Please review the applications. Here are the public facing ones that the party can read, review them, and you'll share the link for us to score how we feel about each one of them. The top 2 people that we agree should move forward will come to the council meeting on July month. Is that okay? So,
sorry.
No, I think
interview all of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
The next meeting, can we, I don't know, transition out. We have 2 spots open, but we don't know when.
Yeah.
It's actually interviewing for
No.
one at a time and then
It's 2 separate things.
seat is vacated.
So I am okay with us interviewing all. I'm okay with us interviewing all. Then we don't need that first step. We don't need that step then. So what we do need to do is forward questions. So I will send an email out and say, okay, can you take over that to get gather questions, 5 questions for each candidate, and we'll have a special meeting for that, and that will take a lot of time. And then we interview all applicants. Well, we have to be careful because if we have 10 more who apply, then we're gonna have, let's see.
Can we tentatively put, so you're closing on the 13th?
Yes.
Faith has to
That
and send anything to us. The 13th is 1 week.
Thursday. 1 week is gonna run out.
Right. Do you think that it would be too much for us to have, what if there are no applicants? Can we have 3 or just 3?
No,
No, say no additional, because we already have the 3. So is it, so this again is in terms of communication with Face. Who can we like have that as soon as the thing is hard to give us an update on the 14th? Either we have applicants or not. Because if we have no applicants.
Move forward right away.
And so if that is the case, you know, I don't anticipate having like a whole grab call. So can we set already a tentative date? I have 3 graduations.
In June.
Plus all the other
With
stuff.
that,
So I like to know.
Okay, can we put a calendar, please?
No, virtual is fine.
Virtual is fine.
To be in person. Or
Why?
just call it a committee meeting like you did, like Simone did in June.
Hiring committee.
I'm okay with that.
We have a seating committee meeting, all right, so.
Can we all be on the same committee? Yes, actually we can.
Right. No, because we bring back to the meeting to do the voting and seating. Following meeting. This is just to get the feedback.
July meeting.
I'll need a meeting.
It's only
So this is the
Hold on.
first of the meeting.
Also.
We ask 5 questions each.
Because
And then we come back. So, sorry, you had a question about, I want to hear what you're thinking. I don't want to over you, so I'll. We have question two.
Like, we're saying, form the committee, so you can use Zoom. Transfer.
So then the committee brings back their recommendations to the council members. We want to move forward with 2 applicants here. How do we agree with the committee? We vote, yes, we agree with the committee. We move forward with 2. Now after July meeting, we vote on those 2. But then we would not have seen the interview, right? So you vote on what?
And if it's a Zoom meeting, we can record it and share it just the way that we have for the other meetings.
Right, so, okay, so, first of all, I might say. Yeah, very quick. I think we should interview all of them and leave it at that.
Right, it's for all of them, share the
No,
recording.
no recommendation from the committee. Okay, that would be really tricky.
Oh, that's fine.
Then very good. So let's say we have 5 candidates, right? So all 5 women, with the material we can be people recorded, and then join that meeting, look at the record, then go into the faculty meeting, we vote on the 5, and we do kind of like a second up, if nobody pass, half. So on that meeting, we have like, 2 or maybe even.
So one thing to remember, our July meeting is also our annual calendar meeting, which we have to do all of our part. This will happen in our first business meeting, which we also have to do our budget and so forth. No, we have to do our election first, and then we have to do it. So what I'm saying, in that, we do all of those kind of things, and yes, we can share the same format you were talking about where we have the meeting. We bring this back so that we can have a short executive session within that first meeting. We got our due diligence of what it is. And at that meeting, we should be able, unless there's just 2 candidates that we felt were equal.
We have
then-
3 of them.
Yeah, right. So if not, if there's a clear front runner, we vote one time and that person can be, immediately forwarded back to the face.
And the thing is that committee meeting will be recorded, so that everyone can view that. Or their convenience, you can attend that, but it'd be great if you all can attend that.
Right.
It'll be a committee meeting, right? Not a calendar meeting or special meeting.
I really want all meetings to be in person, but there are CCs that have been doing committee meetings virtual.
Yeah, we don't follow that. We don't follow that. The vote was the most important thing with the July meeting, which is most important. Our little background work will be done that way. So are we agreeing that we're doing a committee meeting, but we're reviewing the applications, or no review applications? You're gonna come to that meeting and they're all gonna be interviewed.
Yes, everybody comes, everybody interview.
So
we just have to work on one.
let's work on what is the meeting now.
Yes, please.
Yes.
We
work on the questions.
committee meeting and.
No, the question before. We work behind the scenes until that date. Like how we did last time. Okay, what date does not work for anybody? Okay, what date works? I'll do it. Hold on, let me check my calendar out.
The 20th doesn't work for me, the 25th doesn't work for me, the 26th doesn't work for me. Ideally, if we can have that, the 17th, 18th, or 19th would be my best dates. That allows for, because we're closing the applications on the 13th.
18th?
Evening.
18th good.
Does anybody have a conflict on June 18th?
I'm looking at my calendar real quick here, June 18th.
What's June 18th?
What time?
Uh,
It's a advisory council meeting is scheduled. Okay, yeah, I can do the 18th in the evening. 7 o'clock? 6?
6 or 7, which one?
6? Everyone okay with 6? Basically, we have all candidates that start at 6, and each one will take like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It'll go till 7 anyway.
It's gonna be remote, right? Yeah, okay.
So the
6 to 7 on
18th
the
at 6 p.m. Everybody got that?
Yeah, right, that's June 18, 6 p.m.
Everyone here against it? You all don't have to be there. It's gonna be recorded, so it's okay. If you're not there, but who is gonna be there? I can be there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think a lot of people can make it there.
And you're gonna chair the committee.
I'll chair the committee.
Okay, perfect.
If I can chair the committee, I'll ask Tanya to chair the committee on the voting. You okay, Tanya?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So June 18, 6 p.m.
June 18, 6 p.m. June 18, I'm putting my calendar, calendario. What's it called? What are we calling it? Candidate and the candidate media.
That's a committee like. So come up with a good one.
Interview committee, see, candidates that were, I think what?
We'll figure the name out. I mean, yeah, can you look at it with the window? Name it. So we advertise it. Thank you. And June 18th, I have candidate. That's done at 7 p.m. 6 p.m.
Selection candidates.
Because the window we have to notify the candidates that comes back, right?
That's part of my job.
Correct. You'll do all that to make it, then hopefully they can make it for that date. And then also that means they're gonna have, that means we are anticipating that by the 13th we have no more candidates, or what we have, face will vet them by the 14th and the 17th, which is at a hard push. But we're
with 3. So there's, I mean, based on the rate of return that we've had for these things, they haven't normally had a big influx of these.
Okay, I'm done. Okay, we good?
All they have to do is send us one.
Let's hold tight, hold tight. Okay. Comments and words? Okay. Thank you all. Enjoy the summer. Meeting is adjourned. It's 10:07 p.m.